All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Best in Guild Talandre EU Championship Series. I am Blue Squadron, your host, joined as always by LF. Honestly, not as always. LF filling in at the last minute because I have no one that can cast EU with me. Thank God for LF. You want to introduce yourself to the EU viewers at home?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is LF. I know a lot of you already from KR, but to those of you who didn't get to play with me and I didn't have the pleasure of playing with in KR, my name is LF, aka Little Fatty, and I am happy and glad to be here with you tonight.
Right on. Can I ask where does your name origin? Because you're not, like, respectfully, you're not fat. So what?
Name origin, yeah. So basically in college, I was the president of like the breakdance club essentially, and I would usually dance for like 8-10 hours a day practicing, and so that made my appetite really high, right? Like I would eat a large meat lovers like stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut by myself, and then I would have dessert after. And so my friends would just call me a fatty, but because I didn't gain weight because I was so active, they called me a little fatty, and that's basically the origin of the name.
Oh. Okay, honestly, it kind of works. I respect it. I absolutely respect it. All right, okay. We have two best of 3 matches for you two guys today. So let's take a look at the first one. It's Hand of Unity versus Disaster Unleashed. And this has it out to be an absolute banger based on what we've already seen between these two teams. Disaster from the Destiny server, country of origin, Russia, Turkey, and Greece. So if you're from those countries, you have someone to root for today. Disaster in alliance with Hand of Unity, so it's a team kill here. Visceral as well, who was knocked out of the tournament in the quarterfinals, sadly enough. Rank 1 on their server. Their prediction for the tournament was 3rd overall, and we already have drama. Please, no more drama for us. Well, they're making it through the tournament, LF, so there's that.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, though, Hand of Unity from, is it Obsidian? It says they're allied, so I'm not sure. Yep. Country is Egypt. Alliance server strength is first. Of course, Alliance strength they have is first. I think we're pretty clear on Hand of Unity being one of the favorites to win this tournament. Big T1 finish they had before, the Best in Guild T1 finish they had before, it was second. And their chat PvP is finally people are forced to fight us instead of dodging. Unfortunately, it is their alliance they're fighting today.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they're in the same alliance, but honestly, Hand of Unity gave us a different card, but Greed died, so my guess is that they picked up Hand of Unity, or they picked up Disaster in that time. But hey, man, who knows? I can only go based on what the leadership tells me, guys. There's not much I can do. Guys, we do have, okay, so you've been following the tournament pretty closely. So first, I'm going to ask you your prediction, LF.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's really hard to not vote for Hand of Unity if we're gonna be going straight for the guild that's going to win. But man, if Disaster's run has been anything like but miraculous, right? Like technically, if everything worked out, they would have ended up facing up against Greed, which was honestly. I know that they're marked as number 5, but I had them pegged as like number 3 within EU. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm not from EU myself. I've just been following all the guilds because of my EU homies. But Greed was probably like the 3rd strongest right after Hand of Unity and Aura, as per like rankings. But yeah, like just seeing Disaster go through all of these teams, seeing them go through and beat Main Astron here, we're gonna see some pretty interesting fights here, and especially because Disaster, the way that I've been told with how the scrims have been going in EU again among the other guilds is that like Disaster has had some surprise performances from otherwise guilds that they wouldn't have beaten.
Well, honestly, Disaster had such a strong run through the tournament last time. I expected a strong run this time. I don't know about Greed being number 3 in EU. Those players are dog. Mainly because, look, I get to say this because these guys caused a massive controversy in the Discord. These guys legitimately changed like over half of their roster's names to be Asian character names, forcing us to have a rule change for everyone in the tournament, specifically for EU, to only allow one Asian character name in the tournament. Tons of drama, nuclear fallout, ridiculous situation, only to have them pull out the moment that they actually have to fight someone in the tournament. That felt good as the tournament director. That was splendid. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that not number 3. I would say that roughly where does Greed sit in the EU? I would say probably just above 70th place. There are some PvE guilds that I think could probably beat them as long as they can pull more than 10 people at a time. Actual trash. Anyway, now we're gonna okay, so guys, we have a special thing for you today. We're gonna pull in people for interviews today. Semi-final interviews. So we're gonna pull up one at a time here. I'll pull up Disaster first. So we have Disaster's Necro here. Necro, I saw you in the chat. How are you guys feeling today?
Hello. We are feeling pretty good. How about you guys?
I'm feeling pretty good. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about this potentially go to a best of 3. Like all the way to 3 matches. That's what I'm feeling good about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's the faith in Disaster right now. I've heard some really good things about you guys from some of my EU boys here, and you know, you guys have had some surprising performances in some of these scrims, and I'm looking for those surprise performances tonight against Hand of Unity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell us a little bit about your tournament run so far. Disaster had such a great run through the tournament last time, and now you guys are poised to potentially make it to the finals of the tournament this time, despite losing. Yeah, you guys lost like 3 of your guilds along the way, but like, you know, you're still here. You're still fighting the good fight. How has your run through Talandre been? How's your run through the tournament been? And are you guys feeling confident that you can actually beat your opponents today?
Well, about beating them, that's like 75% lose and 25% win chance. Since our war games, I mean, last war games was like losing against Hands of Unity. About the Talandre run, it was pretty nice at the beginning, but as you said, we had some drama lately and we lost half of our roster. But we are still here. It feels good to be in interview again, like in Tier 1. And after a lot of people left, we just merged with the Unleash Guild, and we are doing fine, and we are happy with the current situation.
Right on. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you approached pick ban this time, and you know, the enemy's composition? What kind of went into your thoughts for pick ban?
Well, about pick ban, of course, I lost the coin flip, and bans was like I did some random bans. I mean, like it was like probably we knew that it was gonna be Talus or Ezreal for the first game. And the second game, I don't know, maybe we will play on some collision map. And if it's gonna be 1-1, then of course it's gonna be again Ezreal or Morokai. Probably something like that.
Okay, so you're expecting some relatively even maps, like the safe maps overall. Okay, all right, do you have any final words before we get into this one that you want to share with everybody?
Well, good luck to Hands of Unity. And I hope you enjoy your view, how to say.
Right on. Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much, Necro. I really appreciate you. We're going to see you again at least one more time in this tournament. Next time, whatever guilds lose today, we'll play each other in the 3rd place match on Friday. So good luck out there, Necro.
Thank you. See you later.
Good luck.
All right, and now we have Hand of Unity's Splinter leadership over in Hand of Unity. Splinter, how are you feeling about today?
Yo, hello. I'd say we're feeling pretty good. Excited to play war games, play the tournament. Yeah, I just want to note that I'm interim leadership because my GM is being chilling on the beach somewhere. But he should be back, so this is an off chance of me appearing.
Okay, right on. So, how do you feel really about your GM since he's on a beach somewhere and we'll never see this? Just give it
Yeah,
honest
pretty
thoughts.
happy that he's gone. Could keep it that way, 100%. Would not mind.
Okay, how are you feeling? Okay, so you feel pretty confident in your match today against Disaster here. What's your approach to pick ban overall so far?
Yeah, I'd say we're confident. It's not a free win. That is for sure. We're still gonna have to put ourselves together, play correctly. But yeah, I think we could get there. Pick ban was just try to eliminate as many like weird gimmicks that are a bit coin flippy or like unfun. The more we can just play ourselves on a map, the better it is. So we just banned whatever tried to ruin that.
Okay, right on. And as you look forward in this tournament, you have to be looking at this because you guys got second place last time. I assume you were here last time for that finish as well. Are you guys confident that you can come out and win the tournament this time?
I think we can. I also think Aura can. Our scrims lately have been back and forth. Sometimes they win, sometimes we win. I would almost say it is pretty even. I wouldn't bet any money on either side because it's probably a coin flip.
Okay.
But whoever performs better on that day can probably take it home.
Right on. Okay, well, good to know. Is there anything, any last words you want to share with your guild or with the community before we get started on this one? Remember, you are going to be back next time, win or lose today. You'll be back next time for the third place match as well, or the grand finals, depending on win or lose today.
No, just want to wish Disaster Unleash good luck. Have a great game, and yeah, that's kind of it.
All right, right on, Spencer. Well, good luck out there today. We're certainly gunning for you as we're about to get into the first match of today. Thank you so much. All right. Now,
What a true gentleman.
yeah, what a true, honestly, I expect that typically out of leadership cores. Most of the time, the leadership cores are like the reasonable men who are just trying to get through it. You know, they're just trying to keep you playing. They're sportsmen, you know, they're sportsmen and whatnot. Yeah. Typically, the really unhinged people play on the flank squad, like the flex team. Maybe we should maybe we should interview some of those people next time, and then we'll get the actually, you know what? Maybe not. As the runner of the production, we'll keep that.
Might be risky, yeah.
It's good that Oogie was knocked out of the tournament. You know what I mean? Like for my own benefit. All right, let's take a look over at pick ban because Hand of Unity, as he said, won the coin toss. They chose to pick Disaster banned. Like I said, both teams are they have the same approach to pick ban here, guys. They're both trying to eliminate random maps. They really want to try to stay on some like even ground, even footing. So it looks like the bans were Pakalo, Adentis, Morokai, and Chernobog. Interestingly enough, normally you would assume that Cherno is a reasonable map, but Hand of Unity chose Talus LF, so that's where we're going first.
Yep, definitely trying to pick the flat ground here. Is not probably saw NA East, NA West, and they do not want to mess with any type of like high ground where they can get pulled out of. We saw that in with the Pakalo fight and the now banned Malakar fight, and even now with Chernobog, we saw that in the fight with Tyr as well, where Tyr fighting Hellowing was essentially where Hellowing was aware that they didn't have the collision chance, and so they were kind of forced onto like one side, which made it really easy for like Tyr and NA East to kind of just like corral them to one corner. Otherwise, they just get pulled off anyway. So obviously coming in with a game plan here on the side of Hand of Unity, and yeah, they're confident in their statics that they can definitely outplay everybody on the side of Disaster.
All right, well we're telling these people the buffs. Okay, how do I predict this? Look, Hand of Unity got second in the Best in Guild T1 tournament. I think I'm probably gonna end up going with them here. Disaster though, I'll be honest though, Disaster last in the Best in Guild T1 tournament, Disaster got knocked out by Sin, but Disaster did take a game off them. The only game that Sin actually lost in the whole tournament was lost to Disaster. This time, Disaster happened to be on the side of the bracket with Hand of Unity. So we're going to see here, LF, based on what you've seen in the tournament. Yeah, I was going to say, based on what you heard there, are you changing your prediction at all?
Yeah, you know what? Like, I do love kind of like cheering for the underdogs, but I'm not quite sure if I would consider Disaster like a true underdog. Like in terms of like ranking, Hand of Unity is definitely above them, but I've heard some whispers, I've heard some back and forth from the EU boys that Disaster has been surprisingly taking games from certain guilds. So maybe Hand of Unity gets added to that list. We'll find out.
Look,
pretty soon
last time
here.
everyone underestimated Disaster, and then they plowed them like crops in a field, man. I'm telling you, as it looks like we are spawning into our very first match of the day here. It looks like we are on Talus, and the guilds have already started fighting. Oh my goodness gracious. This fight is really wide, but honestly, kills on both sides here so far, LF.
Yeah, a little bit even here, more towards the side of Hand of Unity now. So yeah, they're definitely picking up the pace here, kind of controlling the tempo on the side of the south side here by the portal 1, picking up the pace a little bit. You see a little bit back and forth. You definitely see Disaster here trying to fight back, and actually a beautiful like line of frags there from the side of Disaster, taking advantage of the stacks in front here with Norgans and Regrowth, getting the frags on Hand of Unity here, kind of inching a little bit more forward. If you can see where the pace is going right now, Disaster really starting to inch forward towards this rift zone here. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. They're trying their best to posture. I'm not seeing any spawns from Portal 3 yet, so they're still pretty confident that they can win out this fight. Get the upper hand on this kind of like war of attrition that's happening on Portal 1 right now. Hand of Unity has to be very careful here. They're gonna have a lot of people getting to reinforce Disaster a lot sooner than their guys will, and a lot of their guys spawning, if they are still spawning in Portal 1, and it looks like they are, going to be caught right behind here with the kill squads, with the flex squads from the side of Disaster, and they might not make it back to their front line. And again, you can see on the side of Disaster here, slowly inching forward, slowly kind of taking space here, slowly kind of like picking up the pace, controlling the tempo little by little here towards the tree. But again, Hand of Unity not allowing it, putting up a solid fight on one side here. But the one thing I'm noticing right now is that the battleground that these two are facing are very, very, very much like concentrated on one spot. So it's going to be very, very dangerous, because in certain situations like this, all it takes is one big bomba play, and then all of a sudden the rest of your stack gets wiped, and all of a sudden they control the match. And again, with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, this is not the time that you want to be giving up space here. And again, we're seeing here on the side of Hand of Unity, realizing that they're starting to push forward more, pushing the side of Disaster over to Portal 1 and forcing them to be on the defensive here. Again, Hand of Unity proving why they are the #1 seed, and Disaster proving why they are kind of like a possible potential upset. Hand of Unity very much level-headed. They knew going into this that they should not be underestimating Disaster. They are acknowledging that this is not going to be a free fight. It is not going to be a free win, and they're taking it seriously, and they're putting the pressure on Disaster right now.
Yes, they are. But honestly, the fight has not moved anywhere. It's a mostly red kill feed so far. But I'll be honest with you, I've seen some Disaster moments where they get a massive kill feed one way or the other here as they push through. I did see a crossbow dagger player a moment ago. I was following him. He did put out a poop emoji, only to immediately get dumpstered on this by Disaster. So be careful when you use chat PvP, so that you don't literally just immediately get one shot the moment that you put that one out there. It does look like the Disaster is struggling to get through this.
Yeah.
Hey,
and on my screen right now,
over here, how does it have no hair? Okay, shut up. Look, I'm inside right now. It's very reasonable right now, chat. I don't want to hear anything. It does look like the stone's gonna open up in about 50 seconds. Now it looks like damage dealt by Jappa over here, 1.3 million sight. You can see Hand of Unity really dominating on these leaderboards here. Level 0 player at the very bottom, the top player for Disaster there, with XB70. Why are none of these names reasonable? Can people in EU just name themselves legible names? Boldy as well down here. Kuro Tenshi. I thought this was EU. What are we doing? Over here, damage taken, Hand of Unity Roulette. That's the guy that threw out the poop emoji earlier with the most damage taken on a crossbow dagger. So Sweetie Pumpkin, your guild is carrying you. Looks like a Mount Eel. Looks like 682k by Globble here. And I expect these and Nuts to be number 2 and 3, but I don't see any of them here.
Yeah, and now Blue, we have the rift is now open. It's kind of like back and forth here in terms of like ground being taken, but the kill feed is saying otherwise. It is definitely very much Hand of Unity favored here. I'm following Luinor, the sole Cordy crossbow on the side of Disaster here, looking for a play, but getting pushed off of the rift side here. He's trying to go around, probably trying to find his party, if not trying to find a clump that he can take advantage of and then give his team the advantage that they need. He's going around all the way back, looking towards the backside of Hand of Unity here, looking for a play, buffing up, getting ready for the play, dashing in, about to spin, does not spin. Is he going to spin? Is he going to be able to spin? He's about to die, 10% HP plus the shield. He's going to go down and he's not going to be doing anything at all. Had the opportunity, had a good access to the backline there. Unfortunately, he just got focused. And again, that's the problem if you are the sole Cordy crossbow in these fights, Blue. It is very, very problematic because they could just put one person on you, person with a lot of collision chance, and it doesn't matter if you have a Cordy wand on your party, because then collision is the one thing that can bypass that Cordy wand shield, that anti-CC, if you will, and he just gets canceled, he just gets disrupted, and at times he doesn't even get the CC. He doesn't even get to get CC'd. He just gets bursted down by the concentrated burst power of Hand of Unity here. And as we can see, without the key plays coming from their side, the side of Hand of Unity dominating this fight right now. We see 1 or 2 kills from the side of Disaster here, but again, this is a very much disastrous situation for them here because Hand of Unity came to play. You see Scythe, Jaiposton, Tempt, and Kiem just getting kill after kill after kill, not allowing them to even have a take on the rift. As you can see, 11 on yellow, not participating. Not that it would matter if they get to take the take on this rift. They are still losing, although now they are starting to get more people on this rift, but that might basically be because of the fact that Hand of Unity pushing towards the south side, stopping or putting a stop into the reinforcements that Disaster might get here otherwise. And again, Disaster, very much a disastrous take here, not participating, and now Hand of Unity with the secure on the rift. They are not going through the same motions that we've seen in NA East or NA West guilds, where they are waiting for the last 10 minutes. They are securing this point now. They are not taking any risks, and they are making sure that they do not underestimate their opponents, and so their opponents will not have these little pockets of play that they can kind of do and take advantage of, because again, Hand of Unity is on the game. They are on the ball, they're on the point, they're making sure that they are not lax in anywhere else. They're making sure that they're 100% disciplined, and that is making it impossible for the side of Disaster here to get the take on the rift, even if they do get the take on it first.
Yep, absolutely. We're seeing Disaster really struggle now. We saw some chat PvP towards France in the chat. Interestingly enough, I want to remind everybody that the top StarCraft 2 player in the world is a Frenchman. They have some super gamers in France, so chill with that. You're just mad because they're better than you. It is what it is. What are you gonna do about it? Disaster really struggling right now. They are on the board, at least. They had about 20% or so on their cap right there, but now we're getting knocked down once again, because I'll be honest with you, in this first match, I think Disaster was hoping that this was going to be a lot closer. You see Necro out in front looking around to try to find his GM, but sadly there's no beaches in sight here in order to find them. Necro stepping forward to try to get onto the plate right now with his SNS spear, it looks like. Interestingly enough, I've actually clicked on most of the there's actually a lot of frontliners in Disaster that are running this SNS spear combo here. Interestingly enough, not as common a combination, but it is certainly very powerful. We see it worldwide as one of the top. We see a lot of top guilds using it, but not very many people. Disaster certainly utilizing it more than most guilds do, interestingly enough. Sadly for them, I don't think they're going to come up with this first one here with 15.5 minutes left on the clock. They get their cap destroyed here, and I think the Disaster is going to have to approach this with a different strategy. Again, we talked to him before the match. Necro said that he thought it was going to be a relatively close match, and so they weren't going to try to pick anything that was kind of out of the box. They were going to try to stick to the normal Talus, Azrael, Morokai kind of selection to try to keep it reasonable. But after this showing here, looking at that kill feed on the right side of your screen, it's extremely one-sided. You look at the leaderboards over here as well. This is one-sided as well, with Disaster Empower only coming in at the very bottom of the leaderboards right there. And so you have to reassess this. The thing that makes me think that Disaster can actually win this, though, is the fact that they are getting moments of brilliance in the kill feed. They definitely are able to get really solid kill feeds over against Hand of Unity here. But I think on a wide open map like Talus here, you're seeing that Hand of Unity's statics are certainly just a little bit stronger, LF.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely ahead in terms of like overall strength with their statics right now. But the thing that we're noticing here now, Blue, and the reason why probably that Hand of Unity is deciding to go for these safer maps is that you can kind of see that when it comes to getting the takes on this or prio on this stone right now, is that Disaster is having a very easy time of doing it, and there's really not a lot of like stoppage that's happening here on the side of the Hand of Unity, which kind of tells me it's either they just don't care because they know that they will have prior on the rift anyway, or it could be another thing where the reason why they chose these safe rifts is the fact that they don't want to get cheesed. The reason why they banned certain maps like Pacolo is probably because of the fact that they don't run as much collision chance or collision resist or even melee evasion on their side, and they might get cheesed. They might like lose those fights if they don't ban those maps. And yeah, very very much a level-headed decision making on the side of Hand of Unity if that is the case. Again, we are seeing these, again, the ones that you mentioned, the flashes of brilliance that you're mentioning here is slowly kind of showing where the side of Disaster is getting the numbers on the rift, but unfortunately they do not stay on this rift for very long because, again, Hands of Unity having a very very firm grip on this rift, preventing them from getting any prolonged takes, taking them down to 7% all the way to 0 now, with Red having, with Hands of Unity here having the majority of the take. You can kind of see once they see they have double on this rift, they don't even care anymore. Some of them just end up leaving, and then instead of maintaining that double, instead of maintaining that kind of like clump on the rift, where it's a lot riskier that way, what they're doing is they're leaving the rifts in advance and they're pushing out right away, because what they're gonna do is they're fine with not having the double ticks, right? They're completely okay with that. What they want more so than that is they have those statics push forward and prevent more people from the side of Disaster to go in, and that leads it so they are not clump. They're spread out enough so that none of the Cordy users or any of the burst or bombers from like the side of Disaster get any big plays on these big clumps, because there's none to be had.
Yeah, absolutely. Kami gets a big pull in right there and starts to get it. He got a couple kills on that last pull right here as one of the Cordy spinners on the side of Hand of Unity. If we talk about that for a second, Kami and Calyx are the Hand of Unity spinners over here with the Cordy crossbows. That's very, very powerful weapon. But there's only one Cordy on the side of Disaster. Interestingly enough, as it you get this far through the EU tournament, you would expect people to be taking full advantage of having two Cordy crossbows, but interestingly enough, Disaster only able to come up with one Cordy for the tournament, and I believe Lunier has really only been their only Cordy the entire tournament so far here, so definitely not helping. But I'll be honest with you, on a spread out map like Talus, I don't think that the Cordies matter as much, because you can see the fighting going on all over the place. Like we saw just a moment ago, Kami only got 2 kills right there. We're not seeing 8, 12, 15 kill Cordies like we do on some of the other maps that we see guilds choose here. And certainly Talus can be a very Cordy rich environment if the fighting ends up being on the stone itself. Sadly, that is not what we are seeing right here, as Disaster struggles to get anywhere near it. They do keep initiating on the cap repeatedly, but every time they get anywhere near it with their DPS, they just get immediately blown off, LF.
Absolutely, immediately blown off indeed. It's not just happening on the Rift, Blue. It's happening on Portal 3. It's happening on Portal 1. It's happening on the way from Portal 1 and 3 to the Rift. It's happening everywhere. And the one play, the one Hail Mary that Disaster is trying to pray for right now is not happening for them because Hand of Unity just incredibly disciplined, incredibly intelligent when it comes to how they're positioning here is not giving them an inch of an opportunity right now. And they cannot get these big plays that will allow them to have a numbers advantage on the Rift, that will allow them to have kind of like that higher percentage on the take, which will allow them to pressure Hand of Unity into getting into the Rift and trying to take it back, because it's just not happening. The one thing that Disaster can kind of bank on right now, especially since they're losing on a static versus static scenario, is that they want Hand of Unity to be pressured enough to actually put in numbers into the Rift, pressure them to get into the Rift, and maybe make like a big bomb play and get the percentage up even higher, so they can pressure them even more to be more careless, to kind of like put the onus on them to be on this Rift. But unfortunately for them, Hand of Unity, just too damn smart, is not falling for it. They are spreading out still, and they're doing their best to put a stoppage to the approach from the side of Disaster, making sure that they don't even get to the Rift. That is their game plan here, and it is working. And it is working solely because of the fact that on a static versus static perspective, it just seems that Hand of Unity is vastly superior.
Yeah, absolutely. Calyx here biding his time. We see this out of some of the best Cordies in the game on EUs. They're very patient in how they want to go for their spins. They're waiting for the opportune moment, and there he gets flipped, and he's fine. He does have his counter barrier popped. He's just going to jump right back up here, looking for a clump. I think he sees what he's looking for here. We should see him spin. There we go, and he got no kills because he's terrible. You hate to see that, man. It's a caster curse. Every time I lock onto a Cordy, it's just very difficult to make sure that they can get anything done. What a goofball. He's been having a great match so far, but the one time I click on him, I crashed over here. Consistently one of the top DPS on the side of Hand of Unity. So let's see if he can get something done. This is a spear dagger user here, and certainly I agree that the statics, I think, for Hand of Unity are just winning out. We're seeing they get up to 15% or so on the side of Disaster right now. They're starting to group up a little bit on the point right now, getting up over 18%. I crashed actually going to go down here. That looks pretty good. That yellow kill feed on the side of Disaster looks pretty good, but now, oh my goodness, Calyx gonna come in with a big spin right there and clear out most of the stone, but they're at 28% now and climbing, as they had 2 times as many people on the stone for just a moment, and Hand of Unity loses a little bit of control. They are coming back now and with a vengeance. Scythe comes in, gets a lot of kills. I believe he's a spear user, comes in and blasts that. Here's Splinter right here. We interviewed him before the match. He's trying to contribute to the stone by standing on it here. He is a Crusader, so looking to disrupt anything that he can. There he goes, a pull. Tries to pull someone off the stone itself. Now they have control, so he feels comfortable stepping off right now as that percentage ticks below 18%, or below 19% rather. One more time, let's take a look at the leaderboards with 7 minutes left to go on the clock. It looks like I crashed, like I said, man. Top defeats of the lobby on that spear dagger. What an absolute alpha. There's Scythe, Wagon, Cried, Havoc, all names that we've been spectating so far in this lobby here. If we look at Disaster, it's Scar, Kuro Tenshi, Love, and looks like Mardine as the top kills for them. Jappa looks like 5.1 million damage done on a Spellblade. No surprise there. The Spellblade, one of the best weapon loadouts in the tournament here. Scythe, Havoc, and San rounding out the top end for them. Top end of the lobby right now, Ravina for Disaster, but they certainly have a lot more healing to do on their side to get another initiate on the cap, and this should show you where Disaster is actually winning this fight. Their front line able to consistently get forward and get this cap off for their team, and I'll be honest with you, they run around, they're able to survive for a fair amount of time, but it's their DPS really struggling to step forward here. Their healers are doing what they can. It's the DPS, I think, that just aren't shelling out enough damage, LF.
Exactly, and it's kind of like made up for by the fact that the tanks on the side of Disaster just really doing a good job. I've been following Necro, I've been following JLBT here, and they've been doing wonders on this Rift, Blue. The only reason why they even have more players at certain times in this Rift is because these guys have been pulling people off consistently, non-stop, person after person, 3, 2s, and 1s all at the same time, just pushing them off, and that's what's allowing them to have some life in this rift right now. This is the one thing. The reason why you're seeing numbers despite not having kills on the side of Disaster is because of these guys. They're doing absolute work right now. These bunch of absolute giga chads just kind of hard carrying the numbers on the rift right now. They have the staying power, they have the removal power to remove people from the rift, albeit temporarily, but still enough to get the percentage up and down and really put the pressure on Hands of Unity here. Remember, we still have 5 minutes on this clock. They could very well pressure Hand of Unity here towards the last second. And again, the one thing that they're banking on is for Hand of Unity to be all on this rift, to be pressured, so they can try to bomb them as much as possible. I'm seeing these time bombs again and again and again. And again, one good burst combo, one good time bomb pull with everybody else is going to be insane for the side of Disaster. It might be the last minute play that they need to do. And you can see right now, Hand of Unity feeling the pressure a little bit. They're putting in more and more people into here, but then you just see a bunch of them get pulled off the rift by the same tanks that we were just talking about. And these tanks have been alive here this whole time. They have not died, they have not given up, they still are pulling people off, and they are the reason why now Disaster up to 13% again, taking back the percentage in this fight when it matters the most. 14, 16 on the side of Disaster, 13 on the side of Hand of Unity. They're getting pulled. You can see Hand of Unity getting more numbers on here because they're trying to step back into the rift, only to be pulled out again on the side of Disaster. Disaster definitely playing on the side of their tanks here. Again, this is a scenario where I know for a fact if this were Paculo, this would not be this one-sided on the side of Hand of Unity, and it is very, very smart on the side of Hand of Unity to ban maps like Paculo or even Chernobog, because if this was that map, I can see Disaster taking this whole fight.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think that if you're Disaster in this, at this point, you have 3.5 minutes left on the clock. You're unlikely to win this one. As hard as they are fighting, you need to be starting to think about changing your game plan here. I think that, you know, you're not going to win if you pick Morokai. You're not going to win if you pick Azrael on the next one. Anywhere where your statics have, it comes down to your basic statics. I think that you need to look over at NA East. If you've been following that tournament, you take a page out of Tier's book. When they fought Supple, they chose to fight on Paculo, and they were, again, frontline heavy composition. They just consistently pulled anyone that stepped onto the Riftstone. They immediately pulled them all right off the edge immediately. You could also take a look at Grand Alon if you have a lot of faith in Lumion, their solo Cordy crossbow. I think that Disaster as an organization has had a lot of success on Grand Alon as a map, but I think that that is a very Cordy heavy map where your front line is going to be able to do a lot of work for you, where standing on the point really matters there. But yeah, Looney are stepping forward right now. The problem is they don't have 2 Cordys, so like I don't know if they can actually succeed on a map like Grand Alon with 1 Cordy into 2 Cordys against a guild that is as good as Hand of Unity is. I think that they're really going to struggle even on Grand Alon, which is typically like their home map. They did so well on that map in the Best in Guild T1. I don't think they've ever dropped a map or ever dropped a game on Grand Alon a single time in either tournament. The problem is they don't have 2 Cordys this time, so I don't know if that's necessarily the play. I think that I'd be looking at Paculo, or again, I don't think that Cherno is necessarily the play. Yes, you can get pulls on Cherno, but I'll be honest with you, we've seen time and time again, the pulls just don't, they're impactful, but they're not going to win you the fight. You have to be at least winning or able to win the static wars, and I don't think that Disaster is necessarily able to do that head-to-head against Hand of Unity. That's what we're seeing in this match. As you look at the right side of your screen, it's a mainly red kill feed here, favoring Hand of Unity. I think that they got to go somewhere that's going to favor their front line.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I think at this point, the fact that Hand of Unity is very aware of this, right? Because if you look at the moments of brilliance that Disaster had here on this map, it's solely because, and none other reason besides the fact that it was their tanks, it was those pulls, it was those collisions that are taking out Hand of Unity from this point. So, and this is on a map like Palace Blue. So if you take this into a map like Paculo or anything else that has a longer run back, it becomes disastrous for the side of Hand of Unity unless they have those gear sets, unless they have those builds ready to switch to at any given time at a moment's notice, then it's going to be trouble for them. It's gonna be on the side of Disaster here, and I think Disaster knows this as well. They've seen the flashes of brilliance, they've seen those takes, they've seen the percentage go up after all these attempts on the pulse. Their tanks are not dying for the most part here. JLBT, for example, I've been following this guy for damn near 10 minutes, and I have yet to see this guy die more than once or twice. Again, if you bring this into a map with higher elevation, you number one either force them to switch builds if they haven't, or else they will lose. Or if you force them into a map like Cherno and you get a little bit of heading on their side, then you kind of force Hand of Unity to kind of like be corralled into one side, and then you can take advantage of that if you are on the side of Disaster here, bro.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's looking really rough for Disaster here. 111 kills for iCrash, 90 and 90 for Scythe and Wagon San, in at 87, 79 for Havoc and Cried, in at 77 as well. If we take a look at the top for Disaster, all the way down here, 41 kills for Kuro Tenshi. Looks like Mardine, Lunior on that Cordy crossbow as well. It looks like Ludwig as well, rounding out the top 5 on the side of Disaster here. 6.9 million. Look at the gap. 6.9 million, the top damage dealt for the Spellblade on Hand of Unity here, Jappa, and it looks like the top for Disaster is M-Flower, all the way down at less, like just about half, a little bit more than half of his DPS done. So really going to struggle here. XB70, Pullman, and EA over here trying to do their best as well. Damage taken looks like it's the XB7 once again on that Spellblade. That evasion must be working out really well for him. I've heard some really good things about that class. Lunier as well, and that Cordy getting focused down pretty hard in this lobby. The first true tank that we see is Psycho Ninja in at number 5 down here for Disaster. If you look at the amount healed, it's Ravenna. We were locked onto them for just a little while in this match. Sternen right there at number 2. Chinese characters in at number 3. Global, Cookie, and Namen in at 4 and 5. Looks like damage taken for Hand of Unity's Roulette. The poop emoji king himself in at number 4 there. The top quote-unquote tank of the lobby with that crossbow dagger. I think that it's time for Disaster to go back to the drawing board.
A little bit, yeah, definitely on the side of Disaster here. They really need to consider their game plan. I'm pretty sure that at this point they know what their strengths are. The problem is on their end is that regardless if they win or lose the coin toss, will Hand of Unity even give them an inch of an opportunity for a comeback?
Yeah, you're looking at this and you're starting to say, okay, well that was pretty Hand of Unity favored. How do you look at this map? Because I think of your Hand of Unity, you're just banning away any frontline heavy maps. And you're not too worried about any map like Cherno, where again, you talked about how the frontline can have an impact on Cherno, and sure, that's true, but we don't really see them consistently, because you have to stand off the point normally to pull people off the edge yourself. So you are getting pulls, and it is impactful, but you still have to be winning in your static groups. And I think that Hand of Unity certainly sitting in a commanding position looking at game 2 here. We're going to see what they have in store for us.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what the pick and bans are this time around.
Absolutely. I think that, again, you're looking at maps like Pacolo. Maybe you pull like Manticus out of your back pocket, right? Like, how do you feel about Manticus? Digon could work.
Manticus is if they play towards the back, the only opportunity you have to take advantage there is what we've seen so far, which is the high ground prior to getting dove down, as long as you can pressure them to the back line, which might prove advantageous for the side of Disaster, seeing as they have a pretty strong front line, and their range would be within the safety of the high ground in Manticus. So actually it could work, Blue. But Digon could be another opportunity if you catch them by the bridge, as long as you know to go in at the moment that like you guys spawn into the map and you can start pulling people off. You could get a good advantage there, because if people don't know how to hook up back onto the rift itself, that run back is pretty long, and might be the amount of time that Disaster might need in order to make a difference.
Well, maybe they know something that I don't, because Bro, why? I don't understand. Why would you choose that? I don't understand. All right. It looks like Disaster picked because they lost the last match, guys. The bans, obviously, Talus out of the map pool. They cannot play again on Talus. Pacolo, Manticus, Daigon, and Leviathan were the bans coming out for Hand of Unity. They do not want any wild cards coming out in this tournament. The choice on the side of Disaster, though, they agree with you. They're going to Cherno.
Yeah, the other maps that we wanted them to take, which is Pacolo, Manticus, Daigon, and of course Leviathan, throwing them into the mud there, kind of out of the question now, Blue, because again, Hand of Unity is not the type of people to underestimate their opponent, and they are not giving any opportunities to the side of Disaster. And yeah, I guess the Cherno pick at this point is just like, well, we don't have any other choice. What else can we pick? And yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Does look like, okay, all right, password changed. I was like, I can't get back into the lobby here. I think that Cherno is a mistake, but in fairness, I think that Hand of Unity is very favored. After seeing that first map there, I don't think this is quite as close as people thought it might be on this one. Be it what it is what it is, but at the end of the day, I think that on a map like Cherno, you're just going to see this pronounced even more than Talus, where you're seeing, yeah, there's going to be moments of brilliance for Disaster here, but this is an extremely Cordy-rich environment, and you're fighting one Cordy into two Cordys here. You're also fighting, like, even without, you remove the Cordy crossbows from the equation, you're still losing in your static groups, and to pick Cherno is, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah, exactly, and we saw it in the last match, but Luino are really having a tough time trying to find these plays. You can see him see the clumps, and I can kind of like see it from a player's perspective, right? You see the clump, you want to buff up, you want to dash in, and you want to make sure that you have a big impact, but unfortunately there's 6 men waiting for you with big muscles just trying to stun you, put you down on the ground, and make sure that you go back to the respawn. It's really tough, especially since they know that you're the only one, and that yeah.
No, the way you describe that, it sounds like a casting couch situation.
Well,
there.
you know.
Am I wearing braces in this analogy too? Yeah, I mean, like it is what it is. I don't think it's quite that one side. I think that Disaster could win if given the correct map. It could be that we see a really big surge from them into the final minutes of this one, but I think that Cherno might just end up being a one-sided fest here. You want to talk a little bit about the compositions that we're seeing on both teams here?
Yeah, so in terms of composition here, we're seeing on the side of Hand of Unity, right? 13 daggers, 16 SNS, 14 GS, 4 staff. Okay. 16 bows, 4 crossbows, 16 wands, and 7 spear. When you look at the side of Disaster here, is that they have 4 more spears, they have 1 less crossbow, they have 1 more bow, 1 more staff, and wow, 5 less greatswords, or 4 less greatswords rather, 2 less SNS, and 2 more daggers. So yeah, in terms of spear here, surprisingly, a lot of spears on the side of Disaster here, probably because they do have a lot of steel hearts. That could be another factor here. Again, if they have those, they lose Noah spears. Now is the time to bring them out, because it's gonna work in your favor in this map at the very least. And again, in a very clump heavy map like this, having more spears probably is a good thing. Yeah, you know, this is an opportunity again with the Blood Devo changes, Blue. It might not be the best idea to be DPS Steelheart again with a bonus damage, just because you're lacking survivability. But again, if the fight was going the way it was in Talus anyway, you might as well. So at the very least, you can find these plays. You can find these, even if you have to DFA in the backline just to get there sooner and safer, if you will. These might be the opportunities that you're just gonna have to be forced to take in order to get the advantage on the map and have the percentage swing in your favor.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, relatively reasonable compositions back and forth so far on both sides, but again, very heavily spear. Like Disaster, just almost all of their DPSs are spears. It looks like a tremendous amount of them are spears over here. Wait a minute, LF, is your name on EU the Gout?
Potentially.
Is your character name?
Yes.
You named your character on EU the Gout? Oh God. For those of you that don't know, guys, North American players are extremely uneducated. overall. We're not smart like our EU counterparts in most cases. So I don't really know why, but NA West started spamming we are the Gouts instead of goats. I think that, again, maybe they misspelled goat, or maybe they think that that's just how it's spelled. I don't think that they understand that it's a medical condition of, like, you know, malnutrition. Very strange. Very strange. Anyway, it's caught on, and now that's all they say in the chat now, because again, we're not the brightest bulbs in that crayon box over here. It looks like we are 48 and 48 in the lobby right now, as again, we're gonna have the same colors in this match. Chernobog, certainly gonna be an uphill battle for Disaster. We've told them to buff on this one, so because again, we want to we're trying to improve as tournament directors as the matches go on here. We try to tell people to buff just about a minute before the match starts, or about 30 seconds before the match starts, just to make sure that everybody gets their buffs off just in time and everyone has the maximum duration on those buffs in this lobby. So we're gonna see, can Disaster bring this back? Honestly, they could be switching up their gear a little bit here. Maybe they want to look a little bit differently at the situation and say, okay, well, maybe we just take a different build into this one and it goes better. Either way, we are into our second match of today with Disaster Unleashed versus Hand of Unity. We are scrolling over towards the action right now, and I'll be honest with you, most of Disaster was able to get up to the high ground, but now they're getting flanked in by Kami on that corded crossbow, getting a spin off real quick, and look at that kill feed, LF.
Yep, it is not surprisingly, very much Hand of Unity favored. The only thing that I'm looking here for the side of Disaster is I'm looking for these pulls. These pulls are not happening. And if these pulls are not happening, Blue, it is going to be a continuous disaster, a very consistent disaster for the side of Disaster Unleashed here.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think, again, this is going about as well as I thought it was going to go when I saw the Cherno lock in here. So, interestingly enough, we do see some kill feeds over here on the side of Disaster, but it does look like that they are doing their best to try to make the best of a bad situation on this one.
Yeah, exactly. We see, I was following Lunar. He managed to get a spin off, but unfortunately, again, he was heavily focused. Before his spin even went and finished, he didn't get any kills and he got bursted down immediately. There's just not a lot he can do here. He's looking for these plays. He sees the plays, and the plays that he's making are very reasonable. He sees the clumps and he knows to go for these DPSs because they're just there. They're clumped together. These are the plays that he's supposed to be looking for. But every time he goes in for the spin, he's just not able to translate these spins into kills. And again, he's down here getting focused, trying to get his spin off, and again gets bursted down by roulettes. And yeah, it's just incredibly hard for Lunar here to have any type of impact that he needs to have as the sole core user on the side of Disaster. But again, with so much focus going into you just don't get to play the game, Blue.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Cried on this high ground here playing Greatsword Dagger, which has the highest single target damage in the game. Fiserina, who is the top healer in the last lobby. Oh my goodness! Absolutely decapitates them with the guillotine, right there. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, is you're looking for the priority targets on the enemy team. Anyone that manages to get up to the high ground at this point, you are locking them down and absolutely turboing them, doing exactly what you would expect a flanking assassin to do in large scale PvP like this. Over on the other side, you see Saroni over here trying to heal to the best of their ability. Look at this beautiful positioning over here. Skull trying to step in behind them. It's like, oh, you do not see me. Hello, fellow guild member. And then steps away the moment that Saroni sees them. You see them here with their static trying to fight what they can. Oh, some good pulls by his tank right there. Alan, oh my gosh, pulls more off the edge right there as well. It's like, I killed Mufasa, as he throws them off the side of the hedge right there. And hopefully they die to fall damage when they land down there. At the very least, they have to run all the way back around. JLBT up on this high ground on this Crusader. Tanks again pulling people off the top right now. And I'll be honest with you, there's a fair amount of presence here for Disaster on this stone right now, as most of Hand of Unity fighting on that low ground. Let's take a look at the kill feed, or let's take a look at the leaderboard. Obviously, Hand of Unity favored, as you might have guessed right here, with Regrowth and Louvre and Mardine coming in as the top 3 on the side of Disaster. Hand of Unity's Jada, Wagon, and San, Empire, the usual suspects, but Empire doing much better in this lobby, and you even see Chixie on the leaderboard as well. If Chixie has a million fans, I certainly am one of them. Loonier over here on damage taken, you can tell this is the Cordy crossbow, guys. That's one of the most impactful weapons that you can possibly be running in the lobby, and you can see he's being damage taken. This is not supposed to be a very tanky build. The reason he's at the top of the damage taken is because they are focusing him down heavy in this match. Rin, you saw what's been happening to their top healer from the last lobby as well, getting focused super hard. That is the punishment for overperforming. Now you see Dark Cronin, Miss Lana, and Rivna. Rivna still at number 3, interestingly enough, on healing. So what an absolute goat right there, LF.
Oof, and Rivna, as you mentioned, it gets taken down again. I just saw 3 greatsword users just assassinate him on the stairs, not even letting him get up here. Lunar getting a kill here along with Kurotenchi and Mardine. They're trying to get space here. Again, you can see where the tanks of Disaster are posturing here. They know their win conditions. They know the only way that they can win this fight right now is to take advantage of this. They didn't get the maps that was supposed to be the optimal maps for the collision builds that they're playing here. But unfortunately, they have to make do with what they have here in Chernobog, and we'll see if it's enough. They definitely know their win condition here. You can see by the front, there's a lot of tanks pulling people off. You can see in the backside here, Necro posturing in the back, trying to pull the people down to make them go run the long way over around to the stairs again. But unfortunately, it's just not enough, because Hand of Unity is not playing. They're just not playing to it. They're going over to the front. They're not going to the back because they know that if they do, Necro most likely will pull them off. And this is like kind of those angles where you wish you had several users with Deluz Noah Spear. So no matter how far they try to go into the front, you could always just pull them and triple push them all you want, all the way to the back and get them down, which is exactly what they're doing here. Jaipa Stone Temps almost getting pulled down here. Unfortunately, fortunately for him, he gets to jump back up again. Again, the back parts here, very hard to kind of like pull people off. You have to be in specific positions so that they have they're forced to the bottom there, and not having kind of like the extra stone at the bottom to jump off of and get back into the fight right away. But they're not falling for it, Blue. Hand of Unity is just postured in a way where they're too far from the crucial key point, the key areas where they're supposed to be pulled off with just one hook, without any pull, and they're just not falling for it. And if anything, I've probably seen more, and just as I say that, Necro gets pulled over himself, is gonna have to, oh my goodness, I'm following him right now. He has no choice at the moment to do the long run back, the one thing that he was aiming to do, the one thing that he wanted to do to the members of Hands of Unity. Now he has fallen victim to, and he has to make that run back. Blue is about 25, depending on your movement speed, 25 to 30 seconds long. Way longer than if you just died, respawned, and ran back up the stairs. And so again, it worked against his favor. Hand of Unity, incredibly smart, incredibly good positioning on their side here, going over to the front where there's less risk of them getting pulled off. And if they do get pulled off on the other side, it's about the same run back. It's not a 25-30 second run back from the back there, and they're just not falling for any of the tricks that Disaster is trying to pull.
Yeah, absolutely. I was following some of the, there goes Calyx with a really good spin right there. Calyx, I was following Calyx for a moment there. The Cordies on the side of Hand of Unity not been the most effective so far in this lobby right now. As again, Calyx biding his time consistently. You should see a pull. You should see his static group buff him up. You should see a pull, and then you should see a very well executed spin on a cluster of people. Now he just spun. It's on about a 20-second cooldown, so he needs to wait right now, as it should be coming off cooldown in about 3 or 4 seconds. Calyx probably gonna go in for one more spin right now. There's a pull right there. There's the spin going down, and you can see him picking up at least 2, 3, 4, 5 kills right there for Calyx. So a good spin finally starting to find the first moments of opportunity that he can here, but certainly Hand of Unity definitely on top of this one as they are in control of the Riftstone right now, and it's Disaster once again, just like Talus, really struggling to get any percentage on the stone. They can initiate the stone whenever they want, and you can see their tanks positioned on the left side of this lobby over here, just trying to pull people off the edge. Brother, I'm stuck. Well then, Glad, you need to try to relog, do your best, hit escape. You're gonna be okay. Crying about it. Yeah, there it is. Use escape. They're just remember, somebody help the guy. He's never been bugged in there before. Crashed over here. Consistently one of the top DPSs of the lobby for a Hand of Unity, and it's on a spear player, which I'll be honest with you, is pretty normal for EU, but this guy is an absolute monster. You see him jumping on target after target right now, and his healer certainly the one that needs the praise, because a DPS is only as good as his healer that is backing him up. You see him get pulled to the low ground down here, but honestly, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me situation here, LF.
Yo, and what a tragedy for the side of Disaster, Blue. I've been following Luinor this whole time, just waiting for a play. It has to be absolutely frustrating to be Luinor right now. Anytime he goes up there, he gets ganked immediately. He gets killed, and in the last few times, he's been pulled off of this cliff, and you can see him there just very frustrated, staying in that same spot for 5 seconds, not even moving despite not being CC'd. You can sense the frustration on his side there. I've seen him do spins. I've seen him not being able to get anything on those spins, and in one of his spins, as if to make matters worse, I believe he forgot to apply Bastion on himself, and he just got melted by the counter barrier on the side of Hand of Unity. So you can really see the frustration starting to really set in when it comes to Luinor. He's just not able to make any impact, and if you look at the damage taken right now, you're probably going to see, yes, exactly, he's the only person above 1 mil damage taken. 1.1 mil right now at this point in time. It has got to be the most frustrating experience for Luinor, going for the spin and he's getting killed again. It's so frustrating. I've been following him, Blue, for that one moment in time where he gets that big spin, gets those big kills for his team, but it's just not happening yet. And we're following him again. He's going up the stairs, gets stunned immediately, has to run back down the stairs to try to recover, has to hold Q block. Now he's 20% HP, has not gotten anything of value yet, gets pulled up and killed immediately. This guy cannot play this game. The one and only Cordy on the side of Disaster now has been relegated to a punching bag, Blue.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the problem with Cherno, is everyone has to spawn in the exact same spot, so you always know where your priority target is. They clearly have a static focusing him down consistently, and that's the adaptation that you see out of a potential tournament winning guild over here. We're going to see Hand of Unity almost certainly, I don't want to call it too soon, guys, but I think the Hand of Unity is probably going to be moving on to our grand finals, which means that we have potential to see the exact same grand finals that we saw in the Best in Guild T1 tournament in EU. We have the potential to see the exact same grand finals that we did last time once again here, which is, you know, in contrast to NA East, where both of the top 2 teams on NA East, in fact, the top 3 teams, have all been eliminated from the tournament at this point. And none of them even made it through to the 3rd place match or through the losers bracket at all. They were basically blown away, relegated to 6th and sometimes, you know, 5th place in the tournament here. So very interesting to see that the EU scene, Aura and Hand of Unity, seem to be still on top. We're going to see if CallMeDaddy can upset Aura in our next match here. Certainly CMD, if anyone could do it, it would be CallMeDaddy. Those boys have been playing their hearts out here, but I do think that really struggling right now in Disaster. You have to look at the map choice, probably not the best on their side.
Yeah, exactly. And looks like Luinor right now with the white names look like he's bugged at the moment. I mean, doesn't really make much of a difference because he can't play the game regardless anyway. So you might as well give this one up. Unfortunately for him, he's just way too targeted. They know that he's probably the guy that they need to focus. And yeah, unfortunately, there's just no redemption for Luinor right now. Unfortunately, but on the side of Hand of Unity here really proving the stable mindset that they have, because you can see, and hopefully this does not prove fatal for them in the future match against Aura, that I don't see a lot of them running a lot of collision resist or even melee evasion in this case to really stave off the only advantage that that Disaster has been able to put out. It might get a little bit dicey if they don't have that in their back pockets, but maybe they do. Maybe they're just biding their time to catch the other teams off guard if they try to pull something similar, especially since they have such a commanding position here right now on this match versus Disaster. But yeah, Disaster with their game plan, unfortunately, it's just not enough. The pulls that they're able to make is towards the front, which is basically landing the rest of Hand of Unity in where they would have spawned anyway. So it's not as if that pull is worse than a death. If anything, it's just better. It's just a faster run back for them. And yeah, now for the rest of Disaster here, just skirmishing at the bottom. Roulette with the literal crap talk at the bottom there. Again, just like game one, just scrimmaging at this point at the bottom, and you can really see, despite how resilient the side of Disaster has been, against such a powerhouse, against such an absolute powerhouse like Hand of Unity, even the toughest of resolves gets shaken here.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like the Disaster are certainly really struggling in this match, and again, you have to look at the map choice, but I also think that yeah, if you're looking at the guilds objectively, Hand of Unity certainly looks like the stronger guild here, and they showed that in the T1 tournament as well. Super powerful squad of boys and girls over here, and this is the reason that they consistently are at the top of the leaderboards in EU over here, basically putting some respect on their name. You see Uwu over here playing a healer. No shock there. I would expect someone named Uwu to be playing a healer in most cases, but trying to stay on the point. One of the only ones left on the point right now, as Hand of Unity basically consistently wipes most of Disaster off the point here. 9.5 minutes left to go. The leaderboard's super one-sided. It might be time to start looking at that third place match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and in terms of third place match, it looks like Disaster is definitely gonna have. They're definitely gonna have a bit of a bit of a competition on that end there, seeing as they are not gonna be competing for the first and the second place anyway. At this rate, Hand of Unity just kind of showing us why they are the number one seed in this tournament right now.
Yep, absolutely. Rick gonna go down on the point as well. As again, oh my gosh, they all come up the grapple on the backside over here and get Cordy spun on immediately. Chixie does pick up 3, 4, 5 kills right there. Interestingly enough, if Chixie has 1 million fans, again, I'm one of them right there. Chixie certainly doing a great job for their guild. Cookie, one of the top healers of the lobby, very consistently as well, in a solid position on the side of this fight, but honestly, his guild is just getting absolutely blasted as they come up the stairs. You can see Raids and everyone else basically sitting on the stairs. There's the Cordy spin going down, the relentless flash waves back and forth on both sides, and then the spear debuffs on both sides as well, preventing any healing on the stairs for the most part, is really forcing a lot of difficult positions from the Disaster squad here, as Uwu does make it up onto the point one more time here, trying to heal or keep Alan healthy right now as they jump back and forth. But Alan getting low on health regardless. Does look like this is SNS spear here. Alan doing what he can. There's Chixie right there, clearly doing what they can. He looks like he's gonna go for a pull. Does find one. Not gonna get him all the way off the edge though, because that's not where you're supposed to stand necessarily in order to get people up. Yep, just runs right back up and on here, LF, as we tick down to the 7.5 minute mark. We do see them getting over the 26% marker on the percentage, but I think it's just going to be Hand of Unity pushing back up and taking back over again.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason why they have the numbers on here is the same reason why they had numbers on the Talus Rift, is because their tanks are up here looking for these opportunities, looking to pull people off. But unfortunately, right now, Hand of Unity just has their number in terms of their main ball. Good as a frontline may be without the damage coming from your DPS, because they're just consistently on the ground, consistently getting sent to their graves. There's not much else you can do. All you can do at that point is just stand there and wait for the rest of Hand of Unity to come for you after they eliminated the rest of your ball. And it's just a very unforgiving map when the other team is clearly just better than your guild. And Hand of Unity kind of right now showing us exactly what that means, showing us exactly what that looks like. And it looks like from this point on they are going to be going into the finals. And yeah, it would be very, very, very entertaining to see this team fight against the best out of CMD and Aura. And again, you can see here Disaster getting their take canceled. They are kind of like hopeless at this point. You have 6 minutes. Yes, in other scenarios that might be enough time for you to get it, but if you look at the map here, they are not even able to get up on the Rift side here. They are trying to go on the side of the hook. They're trying to hook up, but on the side of Hand of Unity, they also have 2-3 parties just waiting in the wings there, just kind of like trying to wait for them to come up, lose their invulnerability if they even have it at that point, and just burst them down, send them back to the bottom of the stairs via tombstone essentially instead of an Uber. And yeah, they're just diving down now. They're just now diving down and just finishing off every single half health member of Disaster. And Disaster's tanks again doing the same thing, going up to the top, trying to get numbers on here. But again, the most of your ball is dead, most of your DPS is dead, and then your tanks at the top, numbering in about 8 to 9 or even 11 of them, are just gonna be dessert for the rest of the DPS on the side of Hand of Unity after they're done with the main course, aka your DPS.
Yeah, I think that the Spellblades are having a great time on the side of Hand of Unity. I think that Hand of Unity is now very comfortably realizing that they are going to make it to the grand finals of this tournament with a potential rematch of their arch nemesis Aura on the other side of the arena. So that might just be hype, but honestly, we're going to see if CallMeDaddy can prevent that rematch from happening here. It certainly will be Hand of Unity moving on in this one with 4.5 minutes left to go. I don't think that there's anything Necro is going to be able to do. You see Kami waiting on the high ground for anyone. Chixie doing what they can on the high ground. I can't even click on them before they die. They are just getting run down on the stone. Necro is going to go for another cap off on this stone. You see people trying to stop him. There they go. Finally, the front line from Hand of Unity picking up the mantle right there, but they have a few Spellblades up here as well, basically focusing him down immediately. Here's Chixie back once again. We'll see how long they can actually stay alive for, as this is one of their top killers of the lobby, but you can see just how hard of a time Chixie is actually having getting back into this one as he runs back up. He did catch a heal from his healer right here, so we'll see him come out of stealth in just a moment. There we go, back at full health one more time. Chixie's gonna do what they can, catches a barrier right there, but look at the health gone immediately right there on Chixie. Just absolutely tragic. Disaster fought their hearts out in this match, but sadly they're gonna move down. We will see them again in this tournament. We'll just see them in the third place match between them and whoever loses our next match of the day, which is going to be CallMeDaddy versus Aura, which I think a lot of people are very excited for. Certainly a lot of CallMeDaddy fans in the chat, as always. I love to see them representing their guild in the chat consistently. Love to see that. But Aura, I think it might be a David and Goliath situation, as Aura has been basically stomping through the bracket on that top, or on that bottom side down there.
Exactly, but you can't really count CMD out. We've seen what they did in the previous matches, the creativeness that they have. You can see that CMD is hungry for these wins. And although they got caught off guard by Huas in the previous match, they quickly adapted to it and just gave Huas no chance for a comeback, and reversing them from a 1-0 to a 2-1 at the end there. And I wonder if they have similar kind of setups, comps, or even builds ready for Aura here. They know the fights, they know the strengths of Aura here, the same way that kind of like Disaster tried to figure out the side of Hand of Unity here. But I think that CMD might be more prepared from what I've heard. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight, and it's not just going to be down to that one fight. Regardless of the result of that first fight that they're going to have, I know for a fact that CMD has a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they adapt in the next game or even in the middle of the first match that they're going to have. And we're going to see those happen in real time. They're getting very, very creative, Blue. And right now, even though I know a few of those tricks that they have up their sleeves, I don't quite know all of them. And as far as I know, they do have a bunch of them ready for the side of Aura.
Yeah, I know that CallMeDaddy's definitely been prepping for their match to the best of their ability there. But again, they know that their opponents is... Let's be honest, Aura won the Best in Guild tournament for T1. Now they're back once again in the semifinals, poised to go to the grand finals one more time to meet what it looks like is going to be Hand of Unity here. And I think that they are at a stomp through. I know that Zachariel, Aura's feeling a little bit of the pressure because I asked Zachariel if he wanted to cast today. And he said, dude, I'll be honest with you, I think I just really need to lock in today. For my guild. And I was like, okay, well, sounds good, no problem. So I think that Aura definitely a little bit pressed about that match a little bit later. I know that publicly they have been, oh yeah, we're gonna win, it's gonna be fine, but I actually do think that they're taking it seriously, and they don't want to underestimate CallMeDaddy, who certainly has been the most improved guild in this tournament. So like, since if you compare their performance in the T1 tournament to their performance in the T2 tournament, CallMeDaddy's been putting on a clinic. Now, I will say that 30 seconds left on the clock. Disaster does try to get a cap off one more time, but yeah, it's too little too late. Just not enough people. Alan over here looks like he's on union break trying to pull people off the edge. He missed his only pull. Now he's going to run in the walk of shame back onto the point right now. They are going to get up to 28%, but it does look like the time is going to run out. We will see Disaster fight again in the third place match of this tournament, but it will be Hand of Unity going to the grand finals to fight for being kings of Europe on this one. Looks like the defeats look like 116 kills from iCrash Scythe at 97, Havoc at 91, Cryptos at 89 right there. If you scroll down, you look at the top kills for Disaster. It's Kuro Tenshi at 52, Mardine at 51. Slightly better performances for them. Luve at 35. Down here, Scar and Iea down there as well. 306 assists or Japa, or Japa, I don't know how to pronounce it on this one. 7.1 million damage done for the Spellblade right here. It does look like 10 gifted subs from Wolf of Mandalore. Yo, any Oilers in chat? Thanks for the 10 gifters, buddy. I really appreciate the support, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 5.8 million for Side Son and Wagon rounding out the top 4. Cryptos rounding out that top 5. Let's take a look at Disaster's top DPS. It looks like it's going to be a Spellblade Iea right there. Followed by Pullman, M. Bauer, Kuro Tenshi, and Chixie. Damage taken looks like it's going to be top damage of the lobby. Looks like it's going to be an Asian character name. The only one allowed in the lobby for Disaster over there. Cookie and Scar as well. Roulette, the top damage taken to the lobby for a Hand of Unity right there. And that's the second time that crossbow dagger. Maybe he should start using his stealth. Just maybe. Amount, or maybe he's being... the guy's a gamer, so maybe he's just being a little too aggressive. Who knows? Amount healed 3.2 million damage healed for Stern right there. Ravinia, despite how much they were focused, still comes in at number 2 in the lobby. Is extremely impressive. Globaldees coming up at 2.8 million for rounding out the top 3 for Disaster. It looks like Hand of Unity's Dark Ronin once again the top healer of the lobby for them. Explosion is art and Ichibu the top healers for Hand of Unity. Not as close as people were hoping for, but the expected outcome, I think, for most people.
Yeah, like we say, Blue, it is what it is. We wanted it to be a close match because we really just didn't want to count out Disaster, especially with the run that they've had in this tournament, and because most of the people that get to where they are truly deserve it. But yeah, just Hand of Unity again giving Disaster a very, very grim reminder, and not just Disaster but the rest of the competition a very, very grim reminder as to why they are a potential winner for this match and they are not to be messed with.
Yes, absolutely. It's good fights to both teams. We do have an instant replay from that last one. I guess I could play the instant replay from that last one, but again, really tough to get instant replays on Cherno that are super impactful. But honestly, we did catch one really solid Cordy spin in this match here. You can see for Calyx right here, bides his time, waits for the opportune moment, gets a solid. I think somebody else actually gets the pull off, and he just takes advantage of it. And that's the advantage of having a front line that is really, really solid. But you can see how patient Calyx actually is right here as he gets the pull down right there. There's the Cordy spin going down. And again, one of his better Cordy spins in the lobby right there. So again, a very Cordy rich environment. Chernobog is most of the time. Sadly, only one Cordy crossbow on the side of Disaster in that match. We'll see if they can come up with another one in their third place match later in this tournament. Regardless, though, we have our next match ready to go, so we're going to keep things moving right along. It is going to be Aura versus CallMeDaddy in the lower bracket of this tournament. Aura, the best in guild T1 tournament defending champions from the Conviction server. Dusk and Dawn make up Aura, with Void rounding out their alliance, rank 1 in their alliance. Prediction was first or second. They win today. They definitely have that secured here, LF.
Yeah, exactly. And on the side of CMD, CallMeDaddy from the Zephyr server, with their alliance, them being the first with Unbound and actually Dynasty as well. A familiar name. Alliance strength on the server, KDS is always on top of us. Big T1 finish above Sovereign, and it looks like they're above Sovereign even in this tournament right now. Speaking of Sovereign, had one of the most hyped matches before that we watched on that Mordecai fight, Blue, if you remember. And their chat PvP is triple star ETH Reapers.
Yeah, ETH Reaper. Yeah. They got knocked out in like round 2, so it is what it is. Now, guys, we do have our interviews ready for this one, so I'm interested to see what these teams have to say about each other, because I know CallMeDaddy, they're the underdogs, but I think that they know it, and they're like itching to go. So we've got we'll interview Aura first on this one, as we've got Kiri from Aura here, one of the leadership members on the side of Aura. Kiri, how are you feeling about the match today?
Hey, man. Personally, I'm a little bit nervous, but overall, I think the vibes are pretty good in the team. Everyone's looking forward to this. We're ready to go, pumped up, feeling it.
All right, right on. So are you guys concerned about any one map in particular? Actually, well, you don't want to give away your strategy overall, but do you guys feel pressed right now? You see Hand of Unity moving on to the finals one more time. Let's say that you win today and you have to go fight them again. Are you confident that you could beat them? Because they said back and forth. Your scrims have been back and forth lately.
They have been back and forth. Hands is pretty good team. I wouldn't say it's back and forth. I think we can pull it through in the end. Not really too nervous. It will be good, but I think we can hold our own against Hands. I don't think we'll struggle too much, to be honest.
Okay, right on. And so today's match, are you just trying to keep CallMeDaddy? If I were you and I felt like I had the upper hand, which it sounds like you do, are you just trying to keep it on like Azrael, Talus? You want to keep it calm and kosher here, I assume, today?
Yeah, we'll just play the maps that we're more used to. So Talus is our bread and butter. Just a nice comfy map for us to pick. We don't really want to do any like coin flip maps, so we'll just play it safe. Get through to the finals in one piece.
Right on. Well, what do you have to say to CallMeDaddy as we wrap things up here? We'll pull them in next. What do you have to say to CallMeDaddy today, who thinks that they might be able to beat you here?
Well, I hope that they give it their best shot. It'll be a good fight, I hope. I look forward to it, and I just wish them all the best. They've done well to make it this far. I hope they can give us a good fight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Kiri. Good luck today. Good luck out there. We're certainly gunning for you guys. Good luck over there. Certainly the defending champions here, guys. That was Kiri on this side of Aura. Now we're going to pull in CallMeDaddy's. Looks like Wind Whisper. Wait, you're the... Okay, so this is their top... This is their top...
You called me by the right name.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, look. I do my best, okay? This is their top Cordy crossbow and certainly one of their carries in the guild overall. Wind, how does it feel to be one of the top killers of the lobby and in leadership at the same time, for your guild?
I mean, I've been part of the leadership for a while, but I'd say I couldn't do it without a bunch of other leaders in this guild. Like, we pretty much, delegate a lot of the responsibility within the guild. So, I mean, I couldn't do it with all the friends. Like having to play this game can be tough sometimes when it's you know, sometimes just a lot of stuff, bugs and stuff you have to deal with. So, I mean, without the friends, I probably wouldn't be playing the game anymore. And I'm just happy they've been able to carry my mentals this far. So yeah, good to be here.
Right on, good to hear. I'm being told you're. Are you a CS:GO player?
I mean, I guess the cat's out of the bag, but yeah, I am a CS:GO player.
Okay, and a pretty good one from what I hear. And a pretty good one.
Decent at best, right? Decent at best.
Above average. Average. And honestly, yeah, like, the bar for that game is extremely high. So interested to see what you guys can pull out today. Okay, how's the CallMeDaddy morale going? You guys are going up against potentially the tournament favorites. These guys won the T1 Best in Guild tournament. Now they're in the semifinals, poised to try to make it to the grand finals. You heard how confident they were. How's your guys' morale doing? Do you guys think you can win this thing?
I think it would be crazy to say that we think like we're anywhere near Sin or Hands of Unity's level, but I do think on a good day and with a slight, you know, maybe upper hand in terms of strategy and some prep, maybe we can put a dent in them, and I'm hoping for just a really good fight. And what I want to see basically is from all my guild members, all my parties today that are going to be playing, I just want to see them give it their fucking all. I mean, there's no point in us actually have gotten this far and working this hard if people aren't just going to give it all at the end here. It's just like, you know, potential free matches of 25 minutes where you just try your best, even though it's going to look bleak. So yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping for a really good fight, hoping we can give them a show, and I mean, we'll see.
Right
we'll
on.
See where we end.
Glad to hear that. Do you have any closing words that you want to say to your guild members? Maybe somebody you would shout out real quick, because you guys have been grinding for months to get to this point, hundreds if not thousands of hours to get to this point. Do you have anything you want to say to anybody?
I mean, nothing in particular to one person, but I mean, I'm just really appreciative of everyone who's been giving it their all, and happy with the friends that I've made in this game. And yeah, I mean, this tournament is probably going to be the last for me, because honestly, I don't think I can play this much more. So it's probably going to be the last for me in terms of this tournament, and then yeah, back to real life, I guess.
Back to real life. You hate to hear it. Real life is knocking on the door. Well, good luck today, Win. We're all gunning for you. We'll certainly be spectating you in the match. I'll go ahead and move you back down here. Thanks so much for coming by here. It does. Okay, so you guys heard it here. Win trying to keep it together. The CallMeDaddy very confident in the audience. And he was pretty confident there as well that they've prepared a strategy ahead of time. LF, what do you think their chances are realistically here?
Oh man, I mean, I do think that they're being humble. Like you kind of like see them slip a little bit there, right? Where it's like, yeah, it's like there's no point in not giving it your all if you've already made it this far, which means that they have been cooking, Blue. If anything, that's what that tells me. And again, it could go any way. If CMD here, if CallMeDaddy here preps more than Aura, if they just want it a lot more than Aura does, and they can kind of like counter what Aura has been doing, then Aura might you know, they might give them a run for their money here. And again, you can really see the mental on Win there. Number one is that, like, you know, they know how to keep it together. They have a very, very stable mental with him in leadership. And the other fact is that, like, you know, he did say this is his last tournament, his retirement. And as we can see in most like pro play, or if it's the retirement match or retirement tournament, they give it their all because they want to leave off with a good memory.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see here. Win, very interestingly, it's not every day you see a CS:GO member playing in the MMO community. So clearly a super gamer across multiple genres, a generational talent, if you will. It does look like that we've told both teams to go ahead and buff here, so let's talk about pick ban. It looks like Aura won the pick ban, which is not good for CallMeDaddy. They chose to pick CallMeDaddy ban. CallMeDaddy banned Grand Alon, Kamazan, Azriel, and Adentis, and it looks like the choice, as Win was talking about, as leadership in Aura was talking about, is Talus for the first map here.
Yeah, again, their staple, their comfort pick. They managed to get in the first one, so it's looking incredibly well here for Aura. And yeah, we're gonna find out if if this works in their favor or not. Because again, we've seen CallMeDaddy go into these types of maps before, and we've seen them. We've kind of seen them like struggle against other guilds a little bit. So maybe they've learned from that, right? We've kind of like gotten a glimpse of that on their end, where they're preparing, where they said there's no point in us not giving it our all at this stage of the tournament. And as far as I know, giving it your all probably means learning from your mistakes, so you don't go through the same troubles again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to see what they can come up with here. It looks like both the lobbies are ready, so I'll hit go. We did have Expeke. I did get word that it was, in fact, the real Expeke in the tournament on the North American side from the League of Legends scene. We also have the team manager from Team Liquid also playing on the North American side of things as well. So it's an honor to see a lot of these players from all of these different communities and walks of life coming out to play in this tournament across the world. So cool to see. You do see Aura trying to position early on here. It does look like that on the other side, CallMeDaddy, I didn't see them all spawn in, or like I'll be
Back and
honest,
forth.
yeah, very back and forth kill feed so far. Although again, looking very yellow now on this one. But I don't see the all of CallMeDaddy here. I'm only seeing about half the guild really spawn in.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I mean, it's either that or they just got sent back to the respawn so fast we didn't even notice. But yeah, now we're seeing a little bit more of CMD flood in here. But and we can see they're getting kills, Blue. They're getting it back and forth kills now again. On the side of Aura here, fighting back. This is what they mean when they said that they don't want to underestimate the side of CMD, because again, at any given day, whoever is having the best day of their lives right now is probably going to take the advantage here. And it's so far it was back and forth, now more in the favor of the side of Aura here, proving to be one of the favorites to win this tournament, proving that they were and are trying to maintain their status as the winners of the tournament, past and present. But again, CMD trying to fight back, trying to push up here, trying to pick up the pace, trying to control the tempo as much as they can, but unfortunately they're being denied space on this little bit of flat ground here up top. And Aura just doing a very good job at stopping them at this point. CMD right now has to try and spread out, because otherwise, if they keep going on this left side closer to the big tree, they are going to get stopped there. They are going to get clumped there. And that is exactly what Aura wants and what Aura needs in order to control the tempo of this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Aura's doing a solid job of controlling tempo so far. We are seeing a decent amount of kills actually coming in for CallMeDaddy here. Dicey, though, picking up some really solid kill feeds consistently for his guild in this very first match of this best of 3 series right now. It looks like CallMeDaddy trying to get up the ramp right now, but really struggling to do so as Aura starts to clamp down. We see Zachariel on the backside of the fight. Look at that, the union supervisor that he is. Mods, if we could get a shout out for Zachariel. I'm pretty sure he is streaming. I'm pretty sure he's streaming.
Yes, he is.
The semi-final matches right here. Today he said he wanted to lock in and play the tournament. So we'll see if he can come up with it here. And they were clearly a little bit worried. You could see why on the right side of your screen. You've seen that kill feed being a little bit more red-sided here, as it looks like CallMeDaddy cheating towards this right side. Trying to stay away from the main choke right now. Their flankers trying to get around the backside. Blaze gonna use his blood devo, but sadly most of his party's gonna step out of range right there. Sten catching a heal to get back to full health, comes up to the high ground looking for priority targets right now to try to lock down, but keeps getting flipped away, pushed away. You can see how much he's struggling as a flanking assassin to try to get through to this backline right now. That finds Reed right there and does pick up a kill. So again, not totally one-sided. I'll be honest with you, CallMeDaddy now starting to push through a little bit here, getting a lot of kills as they move through. Massive kills. Wexy with a kill feed as well, as Aura starts to crumble. Right about a minute left to go on the clock. Aura losing a little bit of control of this match as we start to see CallMeDaddy push through right now, LF.
Oh my god, Blue. I'm seeing just CMD here having that resurgence with less than a minute left. They're getting all these kills. Again, we see Wind Whisper there getting all these kills, and the rest of the stack of CMD getting these kills. Whatever they did right now to adjust to what they were facing, we saw. The weirdest thing, Blue, is we saw them like lose out in these kills, but then we saw that brief pause in the middle there. So I'm not quite sure if they decided to change up their builds midway there, and then that's what resulted in these like frags going in the favor of CMD here. But this might be the preparation that we have heard them try to make, and now you're just seeing them pick up the pace, take the tempo, take ground towards the rift, and with 15 seconds left on this rift before it goes officially open, it is going to be CMD here trying to get control of this side, and they are starting to creep forward. 3, a 2, and a 1, and it is now open. We'll see who takes this first. Archer from the side of CMD trying to get it past. It's past 50% now. He gets canceled, tries to go for it again. He's gonna keep going. They're gonna try to take him down, but unfortunately he just is not dying. He has shields up, he has heals up, and he is now 80%, only to get pulled all the way back. And then Cats from the side of CMD trying to take it. Let's see here. We're now on the side of CMD still. Archer still.
I see. Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, neither team able to initiate, gets interrupted again on this one. Aura actually struggling to control the Riftstone right now. I said they are trying to interact with it, but CMD doing a great job of stopping them from doing so. And now the kill feed again looking more and more red. I think that this is the prep that they were talking about. I think they did swap builds. They've baited Aura into building one particular way and have now swapped the other way here, as they're getting way more kills than they were at the start of this match. That could potentially be one of the reasons here. Archer doing his best to interrupt. He gets the interrupt off one more time again. Now he's gonna go for the interact on the stone. He's holding his hand up. Can he get it done? Stars tries to interrupt. Oh my goodness. Gets interrupted at the last moment right there. Mowgli, one of the corny crossbows on the side of Aura, waiting for his static to get near him, but he's getting relatively low. It is CallMeDaddy that introduces the first cap to this match right now, and it's again Aura not on the board quite yet. CallMeDaddy does get that interact off on the point. Now they're trying to get people over here to this point, but a lot of them are fighting in this choke point on this left side. But look at that red kill feed over there. That has to be at least a little bit worrying on this side of Aura here, as this is, we have quite a bit of a match on our hands. Oh, Mowgli with a massive spin right there to try to clean out the stone on this side of Aura. A beautiful Cordy crossbow spin right there. LF, I think we got a little bit of a game on our hands.
We have a match on our hands, definitely, as now Aura's trying to go for the take now that Archer is not there to cancel them. Wind Whisper here inside the rift, trying to get spins on people that are trying to get in and clump inside this rift. He is getting targeted, though. He is at 20% HP right now. Can his static save him? Can he play life here? Can he hold Q? He cannot. He goes down along with Sayali, and now Aura trying to get control of the rift. 41% now. Again, it's getting a little bit even at times here, because on the side of the takers, on the side of CMD, they are playing for the rift. Meanwhile, their main ball is keeping the main ball of the side of Aura keep busy here by the tree side, while they have numbers on this rift right now on the side of CMD, actually getting the advantage in numbers on the rift. You can see the guys posturing themselves inside the rift. You can see them pulling people out. You can see them getting their numbers up. And unfortunately for the side of them, there is more Aura inside the rift right now. Maybe they're just trying to go out and trying to get survival, trying to wait for their party. But right now we have Kolkasa, we have Wind Whisper inside the rift itself, looking for those spins, looking for those big impact plays, pressuring them to get inside the rift so they can spin on the side of Aura. And right now, closer to this rift, it is very much red-sided, which is CMD. They are taking ground on the rift. They are taking postures, but posturing really hard here on the rift, forcing Aura to put more people in. And I guess that is exactly what CMD wants, because they want to spin on these guys. They want to blow these guys up. They have the capabilities. They have the firepower, as we've seen. This is nothing like the previous matches. Right now, CMD in here playing for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. CMD definitely trying to pour onto the stone, and Aura is struggling to keep people on the stone. 20% and climbing on the side of CMD, who just initiated their cap one more time. They have over 2 times as many people on the Riftstone, so their percentage is climbing very quickly while their opponents is falling quickly. Aura struggling to keep people up on this stone right now as Wexy, Wind Whisper rather, doing his best but getting wiped out on the stones, clearly getting focused down on this side for his team right here. Kerr on the Riftstone as well on this SNS Spear, very popular in EU, but again, look at that percentage getting closer now. CMD at 30% and Aura struggling now to get over the 54% marker because they've been in the 50s for the last 3 minutes here, LF. It's definitely a lot closer than our previous matches.
Yeah, and you have to realize, Blue, this is, again, they've said it before, this is Aura's comfort pick. But right now they're feeling mighty uncomfortable, Blue, as they are stuck pre 70% with numbers on the side here, slightly, ever so slightly on the side of CMD. And they just need to have these plays getting all this impact. Right now, Aura doing a really good job of shutting down Kolkasa and Wind Whisper here, but the moment that they get through, the moment that they get the clumps that they need, it is going to look incredibly dicey here for the side of Aura. Again, this is their comfort pick. It should not be this uncomfortable, but CMD giving them a run for their money, really owning up to what they said when they said that there is no point in giving it our all when we've gotten this far into the tournament. We are 1 series away from getting to the finals. We are not giving up here. We are not going gently into the night. We are going to fight our way into this rift, get this advantage that you're seeing right now, prevent them from getting this 100%. Get ours up, get theirs down. 14 minutes and 9 seconds left into this match, and CMD is fighting for this rift, Blue.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think the scarier thing right now on the side of Aura is the fact that they have shown that they cannot snuff out this CallMeDaddy point right now. They're up at 37, 38% now and climbing. It does look like that Aura is starting to realize that a back cap is definitely possible here, and I think they're starting to struggle with, okay, well, what do we do about that back cap if potential here, because I don't think they want to cap right away. I think they're intentionally trying to keep a decent amount of people to allow this percentage decline for CallMeDaddy right now. I think that they're going to have to wait to cap this until the final few minutes, because this is a lot closer than I think that they thought here. Again, they were very comfortable when they came in for their interview earlier today, and now it does look like CallMeDaddy is delivering on their promise. 60% and climbing for CallMeDaddy, down at 76% for Aura. I think that Aura might be I say intentionally, but now they have a bunch of people on the point. I think that CallMeDaddy is, I think this is legit. I think that Aura is trying to take this, and CallMeDaddy is legitimately just rocketing their way forward right now. It does look like that their Aura is going to take this, but I actually think that helps CallMeDaddy. The Aura is going to take this, and now it's going to be on CallMeDaddy to re-interact with this. But guys, Aura can no longer get percentage on the Riftstone here. Kerr gonna go for this interact right here. Now CallMeDaddy has all day to get this stone going. They have just under 13 minutes to get this going. Arceus, Wind Whisper getting a big corny spin down in the background right there, but sadly not too many kills coming through on that, but got a lot of targets. There's the interact right there, and you see CallMeDaddy has 22% and climbing, 16 people, over twice as many as their opponent on the Riftstone. They have all the time in the world to reverse cap this, guys. They can basically feather this all the way to the finish line. I'll be honest, again, Aura's helpless. They can't keep them from getting on this point right now, and although they're winning in the kill feed overall, it doesn't matter. Look at the percentage slowly climbing. If CallMeDaddy plays this correctly, they're going to feather this percentage until the final closing minutes of the match, and then they'll take it without enough time for Aura to come back and take it the other way.
Exactly, and that seems to be the plan. And you could see earlier it was a bit even on the side of Aura and CMD, and I can tell you right now, Blue, that was not intended by the side of Aura. They do not have control of this match right now to be that confident. So they were struggling to get numbers on this rift right now, and it's looking a little bit dicey for them because it is 11 minutes and 30 seconds, and at 30%, they can work slowly and getting this percentage up and just leave Aura with barely any time to come back from this fight if they do manage to take it in this time. And again, CMD here really showing that they came in here with a game plan, having more than double the amount on this rift, and now they are at 40% blue. 11 minutes to go. CMD giving Aura a run for their money, and this is exactly what I was talking about when I said do not count them out. David and Goliath as it may be, but David is creative as heck, and they are taking this rift with more numbers in it, with 47% on it, 10 minutes 46 seconds left on the clock, and Aura needs to really adapt to what CMD is doing here. Otherwise, when this goes over with less than 7 minutes, it's gonna look very, very dicey for the side of Aura.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. They got up to about 50% right there with one surge. So I'm thinking that, again, CallMeDaddy is going to intentionally feather this all the way until the final minutes because they don't want to reverse cap. I think their plan here is to try to allow this cap to kind of take a long time. Get close enough, get within striking distance of counter capping this. And then in the final moments, you pop Guardians, you pop Remedies, and you just run over your opponent. And without enough time to reverse cap this, I do think that CallMeDaddy has a serious shot at winning this, as Aura cannot shut this percentage down. They have almost twice as many people on the rift, now twice as many people as they did before, as they shoot over the 50% marker now. Again, they are slowly creeping their way forward. I think that they are intentionally doing this. They came in ready to play today. I think that Aura did not prep for this match as much as they probably should have, because CallMeDaddy might actually come up with a win right now. Again, I think that Aura, based on what they said in their interview earlier today, they were like, okay, yeah, we're probably going to win this. Good fights to both teams. Good luck, you know, whatever. But like, we're pretty confident in pretty much all the maps. We're going to pick our comfort one first, which is Talus. Buddy, they're at 67% on Talus, which is your comfort riftstone, and they are climbing. They're at 72%. This is striking distance, guys. I'll be honest with you. If I'm CallMeDaddy, I'm calling for people to get off the stone around 90%. You just keep it relatively close. And then in the final minutes, you feather this. You wait for the final minutes to turn this one around. Although I think they're shooting up way too quickly. I think Aura has realized this. They've bailed off the stone. Intentionally, Aura with a stronger strategy right now. Defira actually taking the stone for his guild. That was really bad for CallMeDaddy. I think that they should have waited. Aura clearly bailed off the stone. Yep, and now they're going to interact with it one more time. I think that CallMeDaddy's strategy now is to try to interact with to prevent and interact with the stone to try to prevent this reverse cap right now. But I think that they should have just held that at about 80-90%. That would have been the play right there, basically pushing back and forth. They had control of the match. Certainly they have control of it now, but look at Aura with how many people Aura has on the stone. When gonna go for the interact one more time. He's going to get it off. It looks like he does. Kerr unable to stop him, and now they're in a really bad position. I think that CallMeDaddy has fumbled this coming into this right now, because now Aura is going to do the exact same thing to them. Aura now knows that this is close. The gig is up. So now Aura is going to push this to about 90%. They're going to cap it with just a minute or two left on the clock, and they're not going to leave CallMeDaddy with anything to basically fight for here. I think that CallMeDaddy has really screwed up here.
Yeah, exactly. And that, you know, that is going to be seen here. It's also going to depend. Will they give this right now to Aura? Will they give them this take on this at 7 minutes? And if Aura ends up getting this take at 7 minutes, it's going to look incredibly dicey for them here, because then that gives CMD to do a reverse on them. And right now we're looking at the side of CMD here, getting the numbers on the rift here little by little. Again, this is post 10 minutes blue. There are going to be last minute Guardian plays here. There are going to be those 2-minute increments of Remedy plays here happening, and we're going to see, once we see those big frags coming in from the side of CMD as they get more numbers on the rift ever so slightly, and all the way back down now, they're gonna try to deny the side of Aura here. Yeah. Now they need to get tempo on this right now. They absolutely need to get tempo on this, otherwise they are going to be losing out on this. And at 6 minutes left, that is going to be incredibly dicey on the side of CMD.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like that CMD is going to bail completely off the Riftstone right now. And again, that's the smart play for them, as I think Aura Oh, Clowns for Aura is going to cap it. That gives... Okay, CMD on the clock right now. They need to run forward and immediately initiate this cap. Sir steps forward, but with only a quarter health, he's going to go for this cap right away. Gets the heal off right there, but he's not interacting. There he goes. He interacts with the stone, gets flipped off. And again, now Aura has been put themselves in a position where they own the Rift Stone once again. And they need to keep, for as long as possible, they need to keep CallMeDaddy from interacting with this stone here. So they need to just keep flipping them off, keep getting Kerr, just keep flipping Kerr off this stone repeatedly right now. And they are struggling because look at that big push of red onto the stone right now. Kerr going to step forward once again. Wexy right next to him. They're all trying to stand on top of Kerr to try to make it hard to click on Kerr, guys. That's intentional right there. They're all trying to get Kerr to interact with that stone because they know that if too much time goes by, they will not have enough time to cap this. And Aura knows it as they all just dominate onto this. Again, I think that CallMeDaddy took a win and is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory right here. Absolutely tragic to watch them cap that point the way that they did, because again, it could be them in the driver's seat right now, sitting at about 90%. Basically, you just allow the time to tick down. You allow the percentage to be relatively close until the final moments of the match. And then pop all your cooldowns and go. But now they're in a position where they cannot get a cap off. There's only 5 minutes left on the clock. They just capped too early. I think that they're handing this win to Aura.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a bit of a mistime there on their take, and you can kind of see that Aura intentionally wanted that. They went for the regroup and allowed the side of CMD to take it immediately and not let them delay it for any longer. And that was supposed to be the plan of CMD here, but unfortunately Aura kind of figured it out in the middle of it, and instead of delaying it in the favor of CMD, they decided to just give it to them. And in exchange, they got an even bigger advantage because they were able to regroup. They were able to push in all together, all at once. And then immediately, very much so immediately, they managed to take the Rift in a matter of a couple minutes rather. They were able to take the Rift for themselves. And now with 4 minutes left and no take in sight on the Rift, it is getting very much... CMD very much in a precarious situation right now where there is critically they need to get the take on this Rift, otherwise they will just have no shot. 3 minutes 56 seconds. They do get the take on the Rift. That means this 3 minutes and 52 seconds, this is more than enough to get this Rift blue. They have more than enough time. This is the time where if you still have your Guardians after the 10-minute mark, if you still have those remedies, use them now so you can use them again in the last minute and 30 seconds. Get this resurgence on the Rift, get this dominance on the Rift, and again, just take this fight away from Aura. Because again, they might have changed their builds to combat Aura before, but we saw Aura do that regroup earlier, bro. Who's to say that Aura themselves did not change builds besides just regrouping together? And that might be what's causing such a huge imbalance now, where before it was incredibly close. And again, CMD here having a bit of life on this Rift right now, but at 9% and 3 minutes left to go, if they don't have dominance on this Rift for at least the next minute and a half to 2 minutes, it is going to be impossible for them to take this Rift. And Aura, again, this map being their comfort pick, really played the take on this Rift damn near perfectly, because now the onus is on CMD to be inside the Rift. But when you're inside the Rift with the rest of your party, you are at big risk. And with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left, if they do not get a take in the next 15 seconds right now and then get double takes on it, they will have no hope in this round one, close as it may be. I think that, again, CallMeDaddy had an opportunity to win this match. I think that, again, they should have pulled off and not taken it. I think it was really like just such a massive misplay to leave people on the point when they saw Aura intentionally pull off the point, because Aura started to panic. They said, all right, everybody off the point. We're going to have to reverse cap on them because their percentage is just too high. I think that you take advantage of, take everyone off the point and just let it tick down a little bit, and then you can just slowly feather it to max here, as you see Sims here going down on the point there as well on the side of Aura. Aura in the driver's seat with under 2 minutes left to go. CallMeDaddy has to be kicking themselves because they had a great strategy coming into this map and sadly lost out. Kerr gonna get an interact on the point, but it's way too late. At this point, they just don't have enough time remaining in the match. And again, right now is a round when they would want to cap. If they had just feathered the point in, like they
probably had planned to. I think that maybe their leadership, and part of the reason I'm harping on it is I think that their leadership probably told them, hey, get off the point. Hey, everybody needs to stand off the point. And some idiot just decided one person was standing on the point for CallMeDaddy. Like, I don't know why we wouldn't just take that. And then they just took it. Sadly, just people just not listening. I have to think that that was part of CallMeDaddy's strategy in the first place, was to flip their builds, flip the script on them, and then try to get an initiate off, and then build their percentage slowly over time, and then just kind of feather it until the final moments of the match and take it from them. And I think Aura, we saw them panic in this match because that strategy was going to work, but sadly just too many people on the side of CallMeDaddy did not understand what the game plan was going into this match, and I think they have just thrown this one away. With 35 seconds left on the clock, they have to be thinking about what map 2 is. LF, where do you think they should go?
Man, when it comes to now with Talus being gone, I think on the side of CMD here, I think they need to take it to something like something along the lines of maybe a Dentist here, which is one of their comfort picks. They had pretty good dominance on there, and they definitely know how to play that map. I think it's something they need to take advantage of because of these switches, like, or at very least like one of the switches that they have when it comes to composition and it comes to builds works incredibly well on a Dentist. I can't really say it out loud because I don't want to expose any of it just yet, but hopefully we see them pick it. And it's just so unfortunate that even though, and I'm sure with how organized they are, they have explained the game plan to the rest of their guild, but unfortunately it only takes one person when the other side has 0 for you to take that rift. And unfortunately for CMD, they ended up taking that rift just too early.
Yep, absolutely. We take a look at the leaderboards for this first match. Aura is going to come up with it, but in an uncomfortable way. On this one, people complaining about DCs, but it looks like there were DCs on both sides, so nothing to really write home about there. 91 kills for Clowns. Palico 91 as well. Wawa at 78, 70 for Dicey, putting on a clinic. Simsir 31. If Simsir has or Kimsir has a million fans, I am probably one of them. Rounding out the top 5 right there. It does look like they CallMeDaddy, Wind Whisper, Pubes, I'm Wexy, and Jabber rounding out the top 5 for their guild. 177 assists for Budapenza. No surprise there, that guy has been performing super well for them. Pubes in at the top assists on the side of CallMeDaddy. Damage dealt 6.3 million for Budapenza on that Spellblade, Spear Dagger for Clowns. Pubes in it, Spellblade right there. Kimsir, Wawa, Palico, Scars, Dicey, Wind Whisper, and Wexy rounding out the top of the leaderboard there. Outlaw down at the bottom as well. Damage taken looks like, again, they're focusing Wind Whisper down more than anything, but he's still getting that damage down, which is super impressive as a gamer. I mean, you look at how much damage he was able to do, despite the fact that he's clearly being focused more than anyone else in the lobby. Just shows you how good they are. 2.3 million damage tanked right there. And then Ciali, Pew, Neji, and I'm Wexy, all top tanks in the lobby, but most of them DPS players. Cruel Irony 31, the first top tank, actual dedicated tank in the lobby, it looked like down there. Amount healed 3.5 million for Spiritual Defra, Cats in Yomshbi, rounding out the top 4. Timeless and Icebergo for Dusk right there. Techies coming in at number 3 for Dusk on the healing leaderboards, but a lot closer than I think people anticipated.
Yeah, exactly. That definitely a lot closer. CMD definitely coming in there with a plan, and it almost worked, Blue. And I'm pretty sure it's gotta feel really bad for whoever was in that rift right now, especially when you review that VOD, that you might very well have costed your team the victory that was in your grasp. And again, as you said, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory is such an unfortunate turn of events, especially when you had a very real chance if Aura pushed away from that one so they could go ahead and regroup. When if all of CMD left at that point, they could have gotten that percentage down and they could regroup themselves and prepared for the next fight. In the next fight where the pressure is going to be on the side of Aura to go into that rift and try to cancel it, or if anything like that. But unfortunately on their side, it's just so regretful on the side of CMD that wasn't the case, because if it was, that match could have very well be in their favor and it could have been 1-0 in their favor. But unfortunately for them, it is now 1-0 in the favor of Aura. But now with this type of performance in a map that's supposed to be a comfort pick for the side of Aura, I wonder what the next game plan is here for the side of CMD.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, CallMeDaddy really showed their hand in that last lobby right there, where they're going to swap their builds up, and they're going to try to initiate a cap that they're going to take a really, really long time to take. But again, just executing on the finish line. We could be 1-0 for CallMeDaddy right now in this series had they played that correctly. I think we're seeing that again. CallMeDaddy, it's coming down to the strategy. Aura, it looks like they are the stronger guild pound for pound, but again, it looks like CallMeDaddy has done a lot more prep. They've gotten their builds ready for this lobby. They've gotten their pick ban ready for the lobby ahead of time, and they knew what they needed to do. They tried to execute, but sadly, I don't think that they explained it to their members as clearly, because some of them very clearly did not understand the dynamic of the match. I'd have to look back and see who was actually standing on the point that cost CallMeDaddy the entire match there at the end, because there was only one guy. If I remember correctly, it was just one guy just standing in the middle of the point, wondering where the rest of his guild was. Everyone else understood, get off the point, you're gonna cost us the match. And sadly, he just stood there, and I think he thought, and that is the problem with large scale PvP, is if even one person is not listening to the shot caller or thinks that they know better, they can cost the entire guild victory. And that's exactly what we saw there for CallMeDaddy, which was tragic.
Yeah, exactly. Tragedy indeed on the side of CMD. You hate to see it. Unfortunately, the next match is not going to wait for you to go recover your mental. You only have a few minutes left before you get into this next match. You have to learn to reset. Fortunately, on the side of CMD, they have a professional kind of like veteran on their side that knows exactly how to reset your mental match after match in order to perform going forward, regardless of how damaging it may be to morale. But at least, at the very least, you know that there are cracks in the armor of Aura when it comes to CMD. They can take advantage of these weaknesses, and as they had before, and they just need to protect kind of like their placement in these matches. Otherwise, man, CMD really giving Aura a run for their money here, and it's gonna be crazy if we see another upset where the previous winners of the T1 tournament of a best in guild ends up getting kicked out of the tournament because of a new contender.
Yep. LF, I just have to say it because you got baited, just like I did earlier in the tournament, but this time it's you, so we're gonna call you out very publicly. They said, LF, do you have 31? And then you said 31 question mark, and then Clowns got you good. He said 31 of these nuts in your mouth. Get absolutely dominated, you total loser. Now, I will say that for what it's worth, I think that we have a crazy map choice coming out for this one. As we look over toward pick ban, remember guys, you cannot play on the same map twice in a best of 3 series. So Talus is out. The loser always picks the map. And so in this case, the bans on the side of Aura are Chernobog, Pakalo, Manticus, and Adentis. The choice, and we're seeing for the very first time today, we're going to a T2 map. We're going to Leviathan, guys.
Oh boy, man, I don't know about this. Aura won, and they are banning, and they ban everything, and CallMeDaddy going for that Leviathan blue. I mean, we saw it before in terms of collision. I think CMD has the advantage here. Might be a very precarious situation for Aura. We're about to see. Is this the first time that somebody who won the dice roll ended up picking up banning instead of picking?
I think so. Again, banning it's less popular than picking. But like, no, they would have chose no. CallMeDaddy picked in this case. So like, again, they did not choose to ban. It was Aura that banned. They have to ban because they won the first match. So they're banning in this one. CallMeDaddy is picking automatically in this. So again, I think this is CallMeDaddy's choice. We've seen they prepped for this match ahead of time. They actually almost won the very first round of this best of 3. They knew that this was a serious possibility. They knew that they would get to choose the second map if they lost the first one for whatever reason. And so they had to have had this prepared. But I'll be honest with you, Leviathan could be a very Aura heavy map. CallMeDaddy has to have something in mind for this.
Oh yeah, I mean, if there's anything that we know about Call Me Daddy at this point in time, is they come in with a game plan. I really doubt that they would pick Leviathan and not have a game plan in mind here, or a game plan ready for this fight. So, you know, the fact that they so eagerly pick Leviathan, despite like certain maps, like even Morokai being open or anything, or a dentist being open, they chose Leviathan, kind of tells me that there's, you know, something's afoot here, a little bit of sneaky deaky in terms of strat here on the side of Call Me Daddy. And yeah, man, at the end of this fight, we'll see who's calling who daddy at this point.
Okay, that was such a crazy statement right there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about composition. As it does look like are both guilds on the same side they were before. Call Me Daddy in the red. Once again, it looks like Call Me Daddy only with 6 spears in the tournament. Aura with 8. 18 wands in Aura against 15 for Call Me Daddy. It looks like 6 crossbows to 5 in favor of Call Me Daddy. Just waiting on 3 more people on the side of Call Me Daddy to get into the lobby here as we tick down. So there will be 3 more people that join. Maybe they're all spears, but I doubt it. Both of them have 4 staffs. Looks like 14 to 13 great swords, 16 to 17 SNSs. Very close. Both of them have 14 daggers as well. So we'll see who the next few to join the lobby. It looks like another tank on the side of Call Me Daddy here. So people say they're really scared of the Call Me Daddy collision squad here. So what are you expecting on this map?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see on the side of CMD here, possibly maybe on their side more gearing towards collision and melee evasion here, so they can victimize the side of Aura and they themselves not fall prey to the same strat. And again, we're seeing 15 wands on the side of on the side of Call Me Daddy here, 18 wands on the side of Aura. I was thinking maybe some of those wands were like curse bombers or something, but I went down the list here, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing anything like that at this point. And I'm going through I'm seeing 3 SNS spears on the side of Aura Blue, and all 3 of them that have the knight symbol on the right side here, meaning they're the guardians. All 3 of them have Deleuze Noah spear. That means that they are well equipped for this map. I wonder if going into this, that the side of Call Me Daddy kind of like knew about this and they have something prepped for it, because the only way that you're able to dodge these guys, assuming that they did build collision chance, is if you put on your melee evasion sets. And if you don't have your melee evasion sets here, prepare to have a horrendous time, because they will push you back and forth, up and down, straight to the mud, and you're going to be swimming like a little shark down there very, very slowly if you don't have one, and it's going to be a rough time for the side of CMD here.
Yeah, it looks like Aura making some adjustments in the lobby as well, as they just moved a couple of their point cappers out and swapped them around. And again, we're seeing, wow, basically every single point capper is running Del Nuzoa spear in this lobby.
Yeah,
almost every single one is running spear SNS, and most of them, again, they're all, everybody that has spear SNS all has the Del Nuzoa and bulwark equipped here, which is pretty common for a point capper. But I'll be honest, this is the first time I've seen it so prominent. Normally you only see like one guy with Del Nuzoa spear and then bulwark in the lobby on either team. But in this lobby, we're seeing all of them, and they're all the point cappers as well.
17. There's 17 SNS on Aura. There's 18 SNSs on the side of CMD. I think they all kind of know how they're gonna play this map, Blue, and it's going to be hilarious when we find out exactly what's gonna happen here, because I think we're gonna see a lot of tossing and turning, except it's not in bed. It's gonna be on this ship in this muddy terrain, and we're gonna see who builds better.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like everybody is now in the lobby. So for what could be our last match of the day, and if it is our last match of the day, we are getting the cinema run back of the Best in Guild T1 EU tournament, which is Aura versus Sin Nova in the finals. Obviously, Aura is Sin Nova. Aura is Sin. And I'm sorry, Hand of Unity. So it would have been Sin Nova and Hand of Unity, the T1 finals. Now it's Aura and potentially Hand of Unity here if they're able to just win this match. But it is Leviathan. It is CallMeDaddy's map. And they do have a really strong collision frontline right now. It looks like CallMeDaddy is not quite ready to go as they're talking to all their members. And again, this is what we talked about. I almost guarantee they're having a discussion with their members about the strategy of the map so that the low IQ, lukewarm IQ members of the guild get it through their skulls that they need to execute properly in this match or the entire guild will suffer, LF.
Yeah, and they better. It is not a good feeling to have one person be the sole reason why 47 of you lost, when the rest of your guilds that were not able to be in the tournament that would have said in their minds, I could have done that correctly because I'm not that dumb. And seeing somebody else mess it up for you is just a bad feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. As we do spawn in to Leviathan here, it does look like I'm going to start the long pan across. Look at the beautiful Talandre environment. Absolute cinema. Holy moly, it looks like the elephant graveyard from the Lion King almost over here. Interestingly enough, and as we scroll down towards the action over here, you see Aura again, once again posturing early towards that Riftstone as CallMeDaddy pushes through as well. Looks like both guilds spawning in the exact same positions here, LF.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like Aura again having the positioning and actually posturing towards the Rift closer than CMD, just like the previous match. And seeing all this brutality, as I look to my right, I'm seeing a glimpse of Draco Rift, the next possible expansion there on the right, as the kill feed from the side of CMD and Aura going back and forth. And now CMD again, as we saw in the previous matchup, is trying to posture up these stairs, but now these stairs are way more dangerous on the side of Aura here because of the fact that it is no longer flat ground. This is an actual choke point. So if you were on the side of CMD here, I would probably take Portal 1 and then hook up and then fly over to the side of the ship, flank the side or the side here, the clumps here of Aura, which seem to be falling one after another, while the rest of CMD are spawning on 3, which is technically the shortest run back to the ship. If you're not trying to fly over and try to get these flanks or trying to get on top of the cliffside. But yeah, CMD pushing up slowly but surely, taking the space up top of these stairs, and kind of like having a mirror of what they were doing in the previous match. And Wind Whisper here on my side unfortunately gets pushed down as he was trying to make a play, gets taken down while he was down on the mud, and these flanks are not working right now on the side of CMD. In the meantime, the rest of their squad still posturing at the bottom of the stairs, spawning at Portal 3, putting the pressure on the rest of Aura here. It's working out pretty well for the side of CMD actually, because they get to gank the people from Aura that are coming back with lower HP, preventing them from regrouping with their party. Meanwhile, they themselves are able to regroup, and this is a type of strategy that actually works incredibly well. You give them control in the meantime while the rift has not opened up yet, and you keep ganking their runbacks before they get to their party, before they get this regroup. And then when you push in together as a guild, as a 48, as a complete 48, you can run over the rest of the side of Aura up top the stairs because you have that numbers advantage. In the meantime, the rest of their members are still trying to run back, still respawning, and this is exact type of strategy that is going to work in CMD's favor if they apply it and if they execute it perfectly.
Now, I'll be honest with you, we're seeing looks like Arhead standing on the ship right now. Very, very interesting, peculiar position right there. Geeky gamer position. The rift is going to open up in about a minute and a half here. And again, we see most of CallMeDaddy running back from spawn point 1 over there, but still some of them coming back from spawn point 3 on this right side. Almost all of our coming back from spawn point 3. You see them landing on the ship now to look for the contest on the ship. But I'll be honest, I have seen more pulls and pushes on the side of Aura than I have on the other side. Wind Whisper gets a really good spin right there. Finally, for the first time all match, does die for it though. He's been really struggling. I've watched him 2 or 3 times so far, try to come in on the flank, gets the buff up, flies in, gets CC'd, and immediately killed every single time he tries to come in. It's the first spin he's actually been able to get off, and it's very scattered on the point right now. It does look like that Aura might have the slight upper hand, but there is a fight going on just about everywhere in this match. As we've got both guilds going toe to toe. 40 seconds left on the clock. We do have Rave trying to spawn camp over here on this side of Aura. Doing what he can right here. Defeats, if we take a look at the leaderboard very quick, Kim's here, 31 of these nuts apparently in LF's mouth right now. Ivan, Wawa, Rhead, and 40 leading the leaderboards right now. But again, you've seen CallMeDaddy, Gaiam, and Seth doing a much better job in this lobby here than they were in the previous lobbies. And Massey doing really well on assists as well. Damage dealt. You're seeing Wexy. You're seeing Forgiven. You're seeing 40. You're seeing Pew. You're seeing Seth down here as well. Kim's here. Wawa and Clowns doing their best to try to top out those leaderboards for Aro right now. But I'll be honest with you, definitely a lot closer. And that might be in large part due to the regroups being interrupted consistently on the side of CallMeDaddy. CallMeDaddy able to outnumber their opponent and just consistently deal damage to them. The rift has opened up though, and Kerr is going for it. And I see a lot of CallMeDaddy on this point, LF.
Oh, exactly. And it looks, and you can see it too. It seems like CMD is very much well practiced in this map as they're able to take advantage. Kind of like this ship version of a goat's path here by the side of the ship, even though they get tossed down to the mud. So they get back on the ship relatively easily and relatively fast, especially if they're trying to take the side of Aura by surprise, hitting them from the flank here. But Aura doing an incredibly good job of pushing them off. Again, these drastic charges, these rushes from the side of Aura with those Deluse Noah Spears proving to be critical when it comes to control of the take on the side of CMD. And CMD right now needs to have their position here. They need to get positioning. They have the tempo. They have the kind of like the advantage here at the bottom of the stairs and walking towards the top of the ship. They need to reinforce their guys that are fighting for life up here because they are either getting killed or they are getting pushed off. So they need the reinforcements not only of their main bow but including their Cordy spinners that can give them the space that they need, because otherwise Aura will have the take of this, even though Aura not opting for a control until just now. Now they're trying to go for the rift. Maybe CMD gives it, maybe they don't, but all I know is the moment that you have control on the top of this rift and you have good positioning for your pulls, for your tanks, it becomes incredibly hard for people to fly down here, because the moment that they land on the ship, you could very easily push them with these Deluse Noah Spears. You could easily drastic charge them off of the rift, and if you don't build melee evasion on the side of CMD or Aura, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, Blue.
Yeah, Omoglu, interestingly enough, not switching over to that shark morph, which is super beneficial on this map because you swim faster in the mud if you have a shark morph. Hard griefing, report him, kick him from the guild. Terrible player, clearly. I can't. Kim's here on the low ground. You see, he's got the shark morph equipped. He's locked in for his guild right now, but maybe he just likes the shark. I mean, maybe he just likes the turtle. Who knows? Kick W on the low ground right now, getting very low on health, and he is gonna go down. What a loser. Finally dying on that one. That's what you get for naming yourself Kick W. Pola in the middle of everything down here as well, trying to keep his static alive with those heals. Rhead has not moved from this lobby. From this position since the start of the lobby. CallMeDaddy struggling to get people onto the point, and Aura taking their sweet time, only at 53% right now, and just kind of slowly creeping their way to what looks like a potential victory here. But we said this in the first match where CallMeDaddy, I'll be honest though, CallMeDaddy's organization on this map does not look as good as it was on Talus.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's also a state of like they're trying to give the rift first to the side of Aura, or maybe they're trying to punish Aura the same way that they got punished in the first game. But now, if you look at the stairs on the front here, Blue, they are getting positioning here now. They're getting the push up at the moment, and they're going in and try to take space on this ship. And they're trying to get control of the front of the ship, even though Aura was forced to jump down and try to get more numbers because they want to get this up and capped all the way to 100%. 71% on the side of Aura right now, not participating on the side of CMD. They are going for these pushes. They had full control of the front here, but they decided to back off a little bit. I wonder if this is actually part of their plan where they let Aura take it first, so so then the onus is on Aura to try to protect this, and they're forced to kind of like just wait and see and look at CMD while they take the rift, or what they kind of like have ownership of the rift. And yeah, this might be a counter attack on the side of CMD based on what we saw on the first match. They want to give Aura a taste of their own medicine here.
Yeah, I mean, give them a false sense of security and then snatch victory from the jaws of defeat at the last moment. Could absolutely be the play. Or they could just be getting farmed. One of the two is definitely happening, no question. Kerr over here doing what he can to step forward, get onto this point, but it's at 93%. I think he actually is feigning it. I think that he wants them to take it right now because they keep interrupting him. Aura has a lot of people on the point. They're at 95, almost 96% now. Surely this will go their way, and Aura, and not worried about a back cap on Leviathan here, as they are going to go ahead and secure the Riftstone altogether. And now we're going to find out if CallMeDaddy is actually just getting farmed intentionally, and it's part of their master plan, or if CallMeDaddy has, if it's a part of their master plan, or maybe they're just getting farmed. Like maybe they're just getting outplayed on Leviathan here.
Absolutely, and we're about to find out. We definitely have 14 minutes and 25 seconds to find out, Blue. Will we see a resurgence on the side of CMD here? They have a lot. And I do mean a lot of people at the bottom of these stairs, and they're about to push up.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look over at I'm looking at the other spawns right now to give us a perspective over here, and you see Klaus trying to basically spawn camp Bojack over here and doing a success. Never mind, gets back to full health. Klaus literally doing nothing over here as people run out. A lot of CallMeDaddy running out from this Catabeezer over here as well. Now, Catabeezer looks like he's going to go down. And rightfully so. That's what you get for abusing cats, you absolute heathen. Right there, as the rest of those spawn campers get run down as well. The CallMeDaddy static winning out in that overall skirmish right there as they fly in towards the stone. Most of CallMeDaddy is grouped up to this high ground right now. I don't think that Aura is necessarily aware. The rest of CallMeDaddy fighting on the low ground on the other side of this match right now. But we'll see if they're able to fly down. If you could give us a perspective over there by that spawn, just let us see what exactly is going on. No. Where the fight is happening. Where the fight is happening. There you go. Yeah, show us where the fight is happening. I want to see if they want to push from both sides at the same time. Most of CallMeDaddy is going to try to fly onto the point right now. And we're seeing if their guild can kind of reinforce from the other side. Their flankers not able to get through up those stairs. You could see on LF's screen right there, they are really struggling. Alti gets a spin down, and Moglu gets a spin down as well. And again, Aura just cleaning out this boat here. I don't think that CallMeDaddy has this strategy in the bag. I think that was a very disjointed push. They did not have the right side ready to go yet. They just pulled the trigger and went, and their right side was not there to flank for them. They were not collapsing down on the ship yet. Just kind of a disaster for them.
Yeah, exactly. And looks like the guys on Portal 3 here getting stopped by a group of Aura, doing a really good job of delaying the guys here. I'm not quite sure if they feel safe enough to maybe push up and just run up and sustain all the way. Maybe the other side does too much damage. Maybe it is an absolute like giga chat of a kill squad here. But again, having 2-3 groups being delayed. Again, they're fighting here on Portal 3. It's a bit of a camping site here right now for the side of Aura. Even though some of their guys are getting punished, no, not exactly. They're getting healed up. Some of them are about to die. Gets healed up back up to 100% again. Unfortunately for the side of CMD, they cannot finalize these kills, and these guys are just continuously stopping 2 to 3 groups, 2 to 3 parties on the side of CMD.
Yeah, so honestly, that Portal 3, very impactful for the Aura victory right now. It does look like that CallMeDaddy really struggling to get onto the point now. 11.5 minutes left to go. This is not nearly as close as Talus was. And again, this is a CallMeDaddy map choice here. And Aura is just putting on a clinic in this match. Arc here tries to get onto the boat, but everybody's just getting pulled off immediately, as it looks like Aura like understands. Okay, just keep pulling them off the edge. It'll be fine. You see, look at the leaderboards getting more and more one-sided on the side of Aura right now. As you see, Kim Seer at the top right now. Damage dealt 2.2 million for Kim Seer here. Wawa and Palico and Scars also doing a great job in this lobby right now. Ciali, the top damage taken of the lobby on a crossbow, on a Scorpion. That's not what you want to see right there, as he's getting focused down really hard. Clearly, it's shutting him down. We don't see him on the leaderboards nearly as high in this match. 1.2 million damage healed for Spiritual right here, because I think Aura's healers, they don't have much to do in this fight, LF.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have much left to do in this fight. But again, Blue, we have 10 minutes left. This is kind of like the sweet spot, if you will. But you know, again, it's gonna be a case of like, is it actually gonna be a part of their plan, or if they're just getting farmed? And right now, if you were to ask me and ask for my unbiased opinion, it does look like CMD is just getting farmed here. Again, they chose this map. They decided to be the ones to fight in this map, and again, they haven't looked as comfortable as they were when fighting Aura in their own comfort pick. You would think that with this map being their choice, they would be a lot more comfortable with it, but it looks like Aura prepared to not get kind of like tossed over the way that teams like Pineapple, teams like Supple were tossed around and tossed overboard, like they were in the previous matches. Aura here coming prepared and kind of like fighting fire with fire.
Hold that thought,
in a sense
LF.
here.
Yeah, hold that thought, LF. Here we go. Is all of CallMeDaddy engaging from this high ground, but you see these people that have never had sex in their entire lives still firing this range from this high ground right here, pigeoning to the best of their ability up here, while the rest of their guild is getting farmed on the low ground. Forgiven, again, showing why he doesn't have a girlfriend in this match here. Finally gets pulled down now that his entire guild is dead. Now you can die as well in this one. Did what he could, but I'll be honest with you, not all of CallMeDaddy committed to that push the way that you necessarily want to see. They did get a regroup down, but I just did not see it really work out for them. Only about half the guild flew down at one time, then the other half waited and then flew down on the second half.
Oh, now they do have the ticket. Unfortunately, it's ticking down incredibly fast here. I think on the side of on their side here, they also need to control the back of the ship, because that is the high ground that you kind of like looking for, where you can hop in and kind of like dip in and out of the rift take zone. 14 on the side, 0.4, 0.3, all the way down to 0, and now it's back to the side of Aura. They need to have a full regroup here. They need to have a good push. They need to play life while they're in the middle there. They need to have that staying power, while the rest of their group that's coming from Portal 3 needs to be able to run all the way to the rift, get their positioning, and not get held back by the same group that has been holding them back the whole time. They cannot afford it. If you are getting camped on Portal 3, you need to make the call. Everybody needs to spawn at Portal 1. Everybody needs to get up on that high ground, and everybody needs to push down all at the same time, spread up around the map, at the back of the ship, in the front of the ship. Get that high ground, get the takes, because if you go to the front of the ship, there is actually that little bit of a slit there that you can step on, even though you're up there taking advantage of the high ground, where you can still get into the take zone. And that's what you need to do right now. If you're on the side of CMD, you need to toss people over. 15 on the side of Aura, 9 on the side of CMD. They're fighting for this top side here, and it's very, very difficult, because the few that are able to get on top are just getting canceled. They're just getting tossed over again. So that's why you need majority of the control here. You need more of your SNSs in here, because they have a game plan. They have the gear, they have the equipment, they have the stats that'll make them thrive on this map. But unfortunately for them, because of the sheer number of SNSs and the lose Noah Spears and what have you, Aura just having a field day and showing CMD exactly what they need to do to win this map.
Absolutely. We saw Goski, how effective that Scorpion actually was, holding his CC, waiting for the priority targets to come out and stop that regroup over there, guys. Very interestingly enough, he did kill a Sand Basilisk, as one of them lost all hope. Maybe he tried, he's like, okay, maybe if I come in as a Sand Basilisk, they won't notice. I'll just walk right by him. Got killed anyway. They said, no. I think that's a person. right there, and they killed him, and they were right about that. Good heads up awareness over there. But again, the morphs being used to try to get by the spawn campers on the side of Aura. We see CallMeDaddy landing on the boat right now with 17 people, but sadly quickly getting wiped out by Kimseer and Amoglu right here as well.
Yeah, and we can see there's a bit of there is an actual, this is probably the closest fight we've seen on this rift, and really it just all comes down to who gets to toss who out more and more frequently. And yeah, it looks like Aura, again, seeing what the goal was here for CMD, does the exact same thing that CMD was probably planning on, just because they were just like, from what we saw at the lobby, they were just well equipped, a lot more well equipped compared to CMD here, and CMD's plans getting foiled. Try as they might, they have not come close besides that last one. In a matter of a minute, that take is now canceled.
All right, well, Cat's on a little bit of a union break there, which is tragic because Cat Abuser is on the enemy team, hunting him down, trying to abuse him repeatedly, which, you know, you hate to see that. It does look like that Aura is out skirmishing CallMeDaddy on this high ground right now. There are, yeah, people in the chat, I agree, that are being very hard on CallMeDaddy, but please understand, guys, these are people that got knocked out earlier in the tournament because their guild either sucks or didn't show up for the tournament at all, and they're just like super salty virtue signaling about how they are not able to play in this match against potentially what could be the best guild in Europe right now. And CallMeDaddy, I think, has put up a great attempt in both of these matches here. I think the Talus obviously looked a lot closer than this, but you know, they came out with a plan, they tried to execute it, but sadly I think that Aura just comes up as the stronger guild.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, unfortunately for the side of CMD here, they do have a plan. Their plan was very clear, but unfortunately Aura had the same plan and they were executing it beautifully compared to CMD here, and CMD fighting for it again. They are starting to get numbers on this rift, but unfortunately more than kills, they are being tossed over the ship. And that's really all Aura needs to do, because this run back is slow, this run back is painful, and it is enough for Aura to try to get back this rift. But right now it is incredibly close. It might be the closest they've ever gotten here. 15 on the side of Aura, 10 on the side of CMD, and it's getting a little bit close here. Maybe they get this slight percentage up, and maybe they have this play of life. It just really depends on who gets to pull who more often, and unfortunately right now it's going to get canceled again because Aura coming out on top when it comes to these collision plays. It's just that the way that I'm seeing the positioning on the side of CMD right now is that they're on one side, and that one side just happens to be the perfect spot that they needed to be in order for Aura to push them off, and it's just impossible on their end.
Ain't no way! Oh my god, I crashed. Okay, You're gonna have to take it. You're gonna have to take it.
Okay, all right, no problem. I will take it over from here, and I will do my best, as both Blue and Bald at the same time have actually crashed. But that's fine, because he's with me in spirit. He's still whispering in my ear to take over, and it is completely fine. We will have 2 minutes and 50 seconds of just Little and Fatty. So Little, what do you think about this match so far? Well, you know what, Fatty? What's happening here right now is basically we're doing exactly what Blue and Bald do. We're just kind of like working together, both alter egos, the main ego and the alter ego, just working out towards this match. 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Again, CMD tried to go for this match, and they really just tried to kind of like outplay Aura in terms of the strategy here. But yes, Little, I think that their plan is just not working out well. Well, that's really good assessment, Fatty, and it seems to be that this is what seems to be working for the remainder of this match. And unfortunately, Fatty, on the side of CMD here, Aura just seems to really like play this map incredibly well. And unfortunately, with 1 minute and 59 seconds left, and with no take on the rift in sight, it is looking incredibly grim for the side of CMD here. And yeah, exactly, Little, you're absolutely right.
All right,
absolutely
no,
right.
Fatty,
100...
get out. Fatty, we can't deal with your sweat anymore. We're done with this. Get the hell out of this room. Nobody wants that neck beard multi-chin freak in here. Okay, Little can stay.
Okay, Fatty, you are out.
Yeah, get out. Okay, anyway, we're back in this one. Some temporary technical difficulties on this one, but with a minute left on the clock, it looks like we are going to see, first of all, how dare you insult Bald the way that you did. It is not an alter ego. He is his own person. Okay, we just happen to share the same body. Okay, they are their own entity. How dare you assume? How dare you even assume his pronoun? You horrible person. That being said, looks like we're gonna get a run back of Aura versus Hand of Unity in the finals for the best in Guild EU. The third place match looks like it's going to end up being CallMeDaddy versus Disaster in that third place match, but the grand finals match is going to be between the exact same two guilds and organizations. They were the best in T1. Now they're the best in T2. He said, Mowgli says, Alti, get out, bro. Alti doing what he can to basically stay. Oh, he's big Sag. Alti is Sag, probably because his healer Zach is AFK as usual on this one. Wexy gonna dive to the high ground right now. Everyone say GG right now, and thank you being very respectful in the chat. It is gonna be a Hand of Unity versus Aura or Sin Nova in the finals for the best in Guild T2. Let's take a look at the leaderboards for this one. We're gonna do winner's interview right after this, guys, so that we can hear what the guilds have to say about one another. 80 kills on the clock for Balico. Kim Sear at 75, Ivan at 74, 69. Nice for Clowns right there, and Wawa is 69 as well. CallMeDaddy's top kills are 40. Guillaume, CLE, Wexy, and Pew right there. Look at the assists, 131 for Scars. Looks like the top assist of the lobby is Massey on the side of CallMeDaddy. Damage dealt 4.3 million for Kim Sear right there, 3.8 for Palico. Wawa, Scars coming in as well. Massey, Wexy, and Pew, the top DPS of the lobby for CallMeDaddy. Damage taken looks like in Surreal, number one up there, and we saw him on that Scorpion for CallMeDaddy, just getting focused down Cieli on the Scorpion as well. And interestingly enough, you know, they're taking a lot of damage. I think that most of them were spawn camping or just getting focused basically the entire match. Palico, 31. Why is it always the number 31? Well, Bald, that's because 31 of these are in your mouth. It is what it is. Neji, Wawa, and Kraus, the other top damage taken of the lobby. Amount healed 2 million, almost 2.1 for Knight right there. Lykia, Spiritual, Kraus, and Kuruthar, the top healers of the lobby for Aura and CallMeDaddy. And a big shout out to Knight and Lykia being the top healers of the lobby, despite their guild winning, which is not normally what you see. If we scroll really far down, you can actually see a washed up piece of garbage player down here, Zachriel, all the way down at 1.2 million. You can check out his stream. He's an absolute gamer, as it were, but sadly not on the leaderboards of this lobby. Oh, hey Zach, how you doing, buddy?
He was getting tossed off of the ship quite a lot, and he was getting prio on the ship, so that kind of explains the lower heal numbers. Yeah, he was the first victim. We could probably say that CMD was hate criming him off the ship. Almost, with the amount of times that they were targeting him, swim as he might, as soon as he gets up, they're just there waiting for him. It's almost as if the win condition here for the side of CMD was to pull Zachriel off the ship, and it kind of shows every single time that he got pulled off. He had a bit of a struggle swimming, a bit less buoyancy on the side of Zachriel here, even though he had a shark mount. So I'm not sure if that's you know, if that's kind of like a problem on his side, maybe a little bit more, you know, a little bit more, a better choice of a shark mount, maybe. But yeah, again, he was getting pulled over and over and over again, and I would have been miserable if I was him.
Yeah. We did see some of the Cordy crossbow users not using the correct morph in that, so clearly not locked in. That's probably the reason that Zachariel was unable to do almost any healing in that lobby. It's honestly incredible how consistently carried he is on repeat. Regardless, good fights to both guilds. We will see CallMeDaddy in that third place match, and Aura is going to move on to fight Hand of Unity. We actually have winners interviews here, so we're going to get an interview. We're going to see what Aura and Hand of Unity think of one another as they're going to be moving on to the grand finals here. I'll go ahead and move Kiri up. Kiri, From Aura here, Keck W looks like you're the tank Keck W. We're not laughing at you in the Keck W voice. Kiri, how do you feel about that win, and how confident are you going up against Hand of Unity for the finals again?
The win was all right. This map's just horrendous to play. We had multiple crashes on both sides. I think even you crashed at one point throughout the game. So winning on Leviathan is not really anything to brag about. But no, the game went well. We held control for pretty much the entire time. As for moving forward, I think I'm looking forward to it. I think all the guys are hyped. We're looking forward to the Hands fight. They're one of the few guilds remaining in EU that can really contest us, so it should be good.
Okay, right on. So what do you think percentage-wise that you take home all the Lucent and the glory in this one on Friday? What do you think percentage? How much do you think you guys have the edge here?
Well, I think it comes down to the maps. I think Hands is definitely a good guild on certain maps. Overall, I would put us to win at maybe 60 or 70%.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, last time we were talking about how it was going to be really close, then you guys 2-0'd them. Are you think it's going to be a 2-0 this time? Because if you say it's going to come down to the maps, they will, if they, assuming they lose the first map, they will be able to choose the second one.
It might be a 2-1, but knowing my guys, we often clutch up when it comes to tournaments, so it should be another 2-0. We're looking to finish this tournament undefeated. So...
Right on. Okay, well, we will see on this one. You guys certainly did a great job out there today. Were you guys feeling the heat a little bit on Talus there? That looked a little bit closer than maybe you had thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. I have a question there actually that Blue might actually be curious about too. In that little bit of period there in the game where you guys essentially gave the rift to CMD, was that like a collective call on your end to just like, let's give it to them right then and there, and then we'll regroup and then we'll repush again and retake it immediately? What was the call like? What was the game plan at that point in time in the Talus match?
Yeah, we underestimated their tanks a little bit. Their tanks had really high collision resistances and stuff, so it was hard to prevent them from capping. Eventually, they got to the point, I think it was like 60 or 70% on the cap. We ended up just calling it there. We made the call. We let them have it. We plan to retake it shortly afterwards because it is easier to retake these caps instead of trying to get that percentage all the way back down to 0. So that was definitely intentional.
Yeah, okay, right on. Yeah, see, I told you it was intentional, bro. You guys are gamers. I knew it. Now, okay, I personally think that CallMeDaddy has been the most improved guild. I don't even know if it's contested. Was the most improved guild in this tournament between T1 and T2. We talk about the differences in strength overall between T1 and T2. Do you feel that Aura has gotten a lot stronger in your understanding of the game and things like this? And do you feel that Hand of Unity has kept up at the same pace that you guys have? Do you feel that they're stronger than they were in T1 as a guild?
Jesus. I mean, our guys are always looking to improve and get better every day. So we've definitely gotten better as a guild and as just players individually. As for the other guilds, they've been keeping up. They've been putting in the work as well. Everyone's been practicing doing their war games. I think everyone's improved a fair bit since Tier 2. But yeah, we do try our hardest to constantly be ahead of the meta, ahead of the other guilds. So, yeah.
Okay, right on. We have an interesting chatter. We have Fat Baldy Blue Squadron in the chat. It's an interesting name for a chatter. Okay, so Kiri, we're gonna see you again. We're gonna interview you guys one more time before your grand finals match. Congratulations on your victory today, and good luck in the grand finals. We'll see you on Friday.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yep. Congratulations.
All right, now we're going to talk about Hand of Unity's Splinter. Okay, Splinter, you just heard what your opposition said. How did you feel about today's matches? Those looked pretty one-sided. You guys look very dominant here. What do you think? You're going up against the exact same squad you did in T1. It is a run back. Do you guys think you have the edge this time?
I mean, as I said before, that our matches are back and forth. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. I'm pretty sure I can say that we're confident. I would go in and match Aura with the same. We're going in like 60-40, 70-30. We got to be confident if you want to go anywhere, right? I think we have both of us, our guilds have put in a lot of effort. We both have the right to be confident, and it's just gonna come down to who performs better on that day, who pulls up, who shows up.
Right on. Well, we're looking forward to seeing it on Friday. Do you feel, I'm going to ask you the same question. There's been a lot of guild strength changes from T1 to T2. Do you feel your understanding of the game has improved dramatically from T1 to T2? Your ability to adapt to the metagame and things like this. Do you think that last time you guys sadly got beaten 2-0 in the finals, they were close matches, but you got beaten 2-0. This time, do you think you have improved enough that the maps are basically just going to be the difference here?
Yeah, I think so. I think that is very fair to say. We've definitely improved over time as we played together. Different metas made us realize a few things, be prepared for certain possibilities. So yeah, I'm confident we can give a better show than 0-2.
Ugh, right on. Okay, well, do you have any final words to say? We're going to be talking to you guys one more time before your grand finals match on Friday. You have any final words to share with everybody? You guys did a great job today.
I just want to tell my guild that the ones that have been putting in the effort, the ones that are pulling up every day, you guys are the real goats. Everyone else that doesn't pull up, you know I'm staring at you.
Face. So true. I know that feeling as a leadership core, and we're just trying to keep it together, right, to try to get to the end of the tournament. So congratulations, Splinter. We'll see you on Friday, buddy.
All right, goodbye.
Take care.
All right, now let's pull up, I guess CallMeDaddy, because Disaster is hard muted. We'll pull up CallMeDaddy's Kerr, the goated point taker himself, the front line for CallMeDaddy. You guys looked like you had it in that Talus match. Was the call to get off the point? Was it what I was saying, or what happened there?
Yeah, it was the call. I was a bit slow noticing that what Aura was doing. Then I realized I could for everyone to go out, and sadly that didn't go as fast as it was planned, I guess.
Yeah.
So we kind of fumbled it, and then I mean Aura made the the right choice there, leaving doing that, and we were kind of slow. I mean that's kind of experience, I guess, in war games.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys made that look super close in that Talus match, and as he said, he was sweating. I don't know if anyone in this tournament so far has put that much stress on Aura like the way that you guys did right there. You came in, you prepared, you guys looked great, and I have to award the badge of all of the guilds worldwide that participated in the T1 tournament, whether it be for NA or EU, that came back for the T2 tournament. CallMeDaddy has certainly had the largest improvement as a guild. What do you kind of lend to that success? What do you have to say to the other guild leaders out there that maybe didn't improve as much?
I mean, it was not easy, because when you have to improve, I think you kind of I don't know, it's a lot of work. Personally speaking, it's a lot of just hard work, insane amount of time sink, going there and VOD reviews and trying to get better, because we weren't obviously that good in tier 1, so we hadn't the strong foundation of actually knowing how to play in the top level, right? I could say Aura and Ends of Unity, names come to mind. They always knew how to play good. We didn't, so it was a lot of hard work, learning, asking people, and then trying to teach something to the others of what we got. I'm happy where we started from tier 1 and then we got here.
Right on. Yeah, no, you guys have put on an absolute clinic. All the respect in the world there. Now you're looking ahead. You're going to come back on Friday. You're going to play for the 3rd place match in the tournament, which is more of a show match. You're up against Disaster. Do you think that you can beat Disaster?
In the last fights we had, we won versus Disaster, but it's been a while since we fought them. I think it's doable. No offense to Disaster, is way more doable than Aura or Ends of Unity, but I think it's doable. Yes.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we saw Disaster get 3rd place in the Best in Guild tournament in T1. So here they are, looking to try to get 3rd place again, but it's CallMeDaddy this time that is meeting them in that 3rd place match. So I'm very interested to see if you guys can actually come up with it. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share with everyone and for your guild that has worked so hard to come to this point?
I'm happy that all the people in the guild stuck to it and decided to push through it. I hope a lot still stays for the fight for the third place, just to end it in a good way. Third, fourth place, whatever it is. Still 2 more war games to push through it and finally commit and have kind of payback for all the hard work we put in the last months.
Right on. Well, we'll be interviewing you guys one more time on Friday. Good luck prepping for that match. Your prep certainly showed today. Again, that was an extremely impressive Talus map. You guys were ready for the pick. You guys had a plan coming in. Fumbled a little bit on the execution towards the end, but I actually think that you could have won that match. Maybe you don't take the series, but absolutely very impressive work. Some of the best prep that we've seen from a leadership core and a guild in the tournament so far. So good job and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, and finally, we have our boy from Disaster, Necro. Maybe not what you wanted to have happen today, but you're poised to potentially take third in this tournament again, just like you did last time.
Hello. Yeah. Well, we end up in third place on Tier 1 tournament, and now it will be our goal to have it again. First, I want to thank Hands of Unity for good games. The outcome was expected from our side. We did not try that hard, and on the second game we had so many crashes at the beginning. It was kind of unlucky. It's not gonna change anything, you know. Even if there was no crash, we will probably lose. So yeah.
Okay, right on. Well, I mean, yeah, it was a tough matchup for you, but eventually you were going to end up fighting Hand of Unity this time. Sadly, you went up against them. You ended up going down. Now you're going to be against, again, CallMeDaddy in the finals this time, which is a different opponent than you fought last time. You did get third in the Best in Guild T1. What do you think, like, realistically, the chances of finishing third this time overall?
Well, like Kar said, it's doable for us more than Synergy or Hands of Unity. The game will be really fun. We will put our everything on the next game. We should do much better than against Hands of Unity today's match. So okay. the game will be interesting. I just don't know, to be honest, but we should win on that match.
Right on. Okay, well, we're looking forward to it. I hope it goes to, honestly, personally, I just hope it goes to 3 matches, but we'll see on that one. Now, I do want to say, for what it's worth, I think it's extremely impressive. Disaster came out in the first tournament. I believe they had 4 guilds in the Alliance. I know that you guys have gone through basically the gauntlet as a guild, a lot of drama, a lot of disbands, a lot of remaking and reshuffling going on. So to land here, come back, and potentially finish in the exact same spot that you did in the T1 tournament, I think speaks volumes to your leadership core and the people that kind of stayed with you like through all of it at the end of the day. So do you have anything, last words that you want to say to your guild or to the rest of the tournament, or to CallMeDaddy here?
Of course, if I have time, I have a story about what happened.
Go ahead, yeah.
And as you said, we were pretty good on Tier 1 tournament, and we almost win that tournament, to be honest. And I always keep saying me that maybe with a castle buff we could have won, because it was too close to be 2-0 on a Dentos game against Synergy, but they were just simply better and they won, and we also lost the other game, so we end up losing on semifinals, and we end up in third. But I can clearly say we were the second best guild in Tier 1 tournament, and for Tier 2 tournament there was a lot of a lot to expect from us, you know. I had a very big pressure on me because we had to do something, and we had to win this time. And on the process of this Tier 2 tournament, many guilds disbanded, like Failure, Greed. It was really hard to survive the process. And no joke, I spent like 1 million Lucent for the half of the roster. You know, both the weapons, the Cordivons, the Spears, etc. And these people just left the guild because there was a drama, and it wasn't about me, you know. It was about something else, and I was just the guy who want to do something in the tournament. You know, I was trying my best, and as a guild we were trying our best. Well, this is the game, you know. People on internet, they just press one button and they're gone. It's not like we did some contract, even though I bought them a lot of weapons. But we ended up like losing 4 statics from our roster, and first I want to take those loyal people from Disaster, and we are still together, and upcoming games we will still playing together. I really enjoy playing with them. Also, I want to take the Unleashed. They are really amazing people. Normally we just we plan to merge for tournament, but we liked each other so much, and we decided to play even after the tournament. You know, we will continue playing under the name of Disaster Unleashed. So even though we lost people, we also gained people, and I'm kind of very happy about the situation. So if we win or if we lose against CallMeDaddy, we are gonna still be in top 4 or top 3, you know, and that's basically what happened to Disaster, if anyone wonders.
Right on.
And even after the tournament, we are gonna still be playing the game. We are excited to see about the upcoming contents. Hopefully there will be a battleground, and we will just enjoy the game much more.
Right on. Well, spent 14,500 euros. That is, if that's not dedication to your guild, I don't know what is. I can tell you right now, I would not spend that much money for my guild.
Well, probably more.
That's
like,
insane.
Imagine like the one Cordy weapon costs like 60k, and like half of the roster means like 24. Even if we only count the arc boss weapon, and there was like other items as well.
Wow.
Not all of them, like some of the players earned that, you know. For example, Cryptos is playing on Hands of Unity now. He earned that weapon, and I don't have any grudge against him. And there were like many players with them, but some players are just you know, they created a drama and they left, and I will never forgive them by doing that, but that's what it is.
Yep,
and
it is what it is.
We joined the tournament for prestige, not for the Lucent. So sending Lucent for tournament was, you know, the reason for us to get a good position. And even though with all this bullshit drama, we end up in top 4, and I think this is something good.
All right, right on. Well, we're certainly looking forward to seeing you guys perform in this tournament. Quite the story coming out. You guys have come a long way. I look forward to seeing you guys in the 3rd place match. We'll pull you back in on Friday when you guys go to do that. All the best on Friday down there. I'll go ahead and move you down here. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you as well, and good luck to CallMeDaddy for the 3rd place match on Friday. Bye bye.
Thanks, Necro. All right. LF, yeah, you didn't get to talk much there. You go ahead.
No, not at all. I was just kind of like enjoying. We're kind of like hearing a piece of history being told from one side of EU here, so it's pretty interesting. You know, the drama is
insane.
You know, is insane on all the regions. So kind of like hearing people is like, oh, okay, maybe we weren't the only ones. You know, and you can kind of hear that side. You can see some of the other side on chat as well. It's a piece of history at the end of the day that we got to witness.
Chat certainly had their opinion of what had happened. I'm interested to see if anybody messages me. I'd love to know what the other side. But regardless, all the respect in the world to Disaster for making it this far, and Necro there as well. I want to say everybody wave hi to our tournament directors in chat, as we could not do this without them. My boy Lucy, we had Note, Malterix I think was here today as well, and the rest of the moderators as well. Really appreciate you guys keeping the production moving and setting everything up for us. Really appreciate you guys. And then if everybody could do me a big favor, WAGS in the chat, because without Amazon Game Studio, the tournament just would not be possible. There's no way I have the money to be able to front 20,000 US dollars worth of Lucent forward in the tournament for all 3 regions at the same time. So I put in the 600 or 700 hours of effort along with the tournament directors as well, and all their effort and everything. We're not getting like paid for this or anything. We're doing this on behalf of the community. It's been a super fun event so far. I cannot wait to see what the grand finals look like. But guys, remember, starting on Thursday of this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday is the NA West grand finals and 3rd place match. Friday is the NA East grand finals and 3rd place. EU. Sorry, EU is Friday. Grand finals and 3rd place match, and then NA East is Saturday. You can also get an exclusive in-game title called Squadron Commander just for watching live on Twitch during the tournament. So check that out, guys. I really appreciate you. You can always choose your favorite content creator to go ahead and spectate during the tournament as well. And speaking of favorite content creator, LF, you want to give yourself a shout out real quick? You kind of the GOAT today.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just, this whole thing has just been a lot of fun. And like I said, we're not really getting paid for this, because at the end of the day, this is a labor of love. We, you know, like Blue and his team, and myself volunteering for this as well. It is a labor of love. We love to do it. We love to see the community have the content. We love to see the community have like all this PvP action. And me, myself, personally, I absolutely love the fact that I get to witness these matches and I get to see them live, and I get to have the privilege of shoutcasting for them. Because at the end of the day, as PvPers, all we really want is PvP, and that's it.
Yep, absolutely, Gwaxy. Thanks for the raid, but buddy, I appreciate you. We are wrapping up for the day, so I'm probably gonna end up throwing over to Zachriel here. But yeah, guys, most of the proceeds from the tournament that were made during the tournament, that via ad revenue or whatnot, go back into the tournament directors and staff who helped out with the tournament the whole time, or in the production value of the tournament, which was completely run by me. So I appreciate everybody that subscribes and supports me in trying to run this tournament, as it has been the hardest thing I have ever done in my content creator career. This is extremely difficult to do. But you know what? We'll talk more about that probably on Sunday. I will probably have a stream that is talking about kind of what has gone on behind the scenes this whole time. Either way, it's been quite a ride. I cannot wait to see what happens in our grand finals across all 3 regions. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to start at, I think, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday. We will have that NA West grand finals come in. LF, you might be in it, so you won't be on the desk with me, sadly, there. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Zachriel TV, who was in the matches today. Is an absolute goat of a healer. As much chat PvP as I like to give him, he's an absolute unit. Love him to death. Guys, I'll see y'all on Thursday. I love you guys so much. Thanks for supporting the tournament. Remember, all the videos go on YouTube. Remember to like the video on YouTube, guys. I love you so much.